I know when you started this, you were super jazzed and like you were looking forward to it, but like I think that episode like 0, it's hard to imagine episode 200.
This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
You're listening to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Mountain Glass Arts. For the month of September 2018, Mountain Glass is offering their Boro sale. You can get North Star first quality rods for 30% off. No coupon code needed, and the sale does not include sample packs and does not combine with any other discounts, does not apply to cadmium colors, Illuminati, Lucy, Absinthe, Nova, Gemini, or reserve batch items. And for all you beautiful soft glass nerds, they have their Creations is Messy sale. You can get 40% off glass from Creations is Messy. All you have to do is put in the coupon code MESSY at checkout to receive your discount. And also, don't forget to check out all their kiln and torch sales. And for anybody out there that does demonstrations, they are now offering a disposable diademium glasses pair thingy for your guests to use when they're watching you work. These are not designed for long-term usage, but they are designed to help protect the eyes of the guests that are watching you. I know I'm going to get my hands on these as they are only $4 a piece and would be a great thing to buy when you go out and do demonstrations. Even just to have at the house when you have friends stop by and, what have you. And that way you're not worried about your glasses getting broken or taken. So for any other questions, comments, or concerns, go check out our friends at mountainglass.com. That's mountainglass.com. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode number 200. Holy shit, that's right, 200 episodes. Can't believe we are here as 4 years almost into the show, and here we are at 200, so... yeah, thanks for tuning in. Today's episode features the one and only Mr. Rashan Jones. If you missed his very first interview, it was episode 1, 2, and 3. I broke it up into 3 parts. I came back for episode 100, and here we are now at 200, and we're back on track with him again. It's kind of been a delay. Him and I have been back and forth scheduling and conflicts and family and life and sicknesses and teeth pulls and all kind of crazy shit going on, to where we finally got everything done and interviews done and up and ready to go. And that's why we haven't posted in a while, because I want to make sure Rashan was 200. And I got a shit ton of people waiting right now to get on here. So, again, sorry for the delay. But that being said, here we are, 200. And again, today's features is with Rashan Jones. Him and I have not spoken over the phone, except for some text messages and Facebooking and all that kind of stuff for pretty much the last year and a half or so. And him and I both have gone through some pretty serious life changes. As those who've followed the show here know that I had a pretty serious heartbreak and divorce last year. Here I am a year removed. And he also went through some pretty serious changes by having a baby at 41 years old. So we kind of talk a little bit about that. And I'd say we pretty much cover everything from the 40-year-old dad bod to poop and glass blowing and life and what we have going on over the next year or so, and some future ideas and plans and concepts, as well as the couple of grumpy old men on the front porch telling you, all you young kids who are making rigs from day one, to get off the fucking grass and pull points. So hope you guys enjoy this conversation, because we really went all over the place. He actually had some questions for me that I thought was pretty cool, something him and I have talked about in the past, but I wasn't sure what he was going to do. So he had some super specific questions that he asked that kind of came into the show here, and I guess he had a lot more questions, but I was able to cover those questions as we went through the conversation. So it's pretty cool. I like the idea of having kind of the tables turned in a sense and having the questions directed towards me. But I do have to start off before I start rambling here to thank. I believe I've counted a total of 85 guests that we had on the show so far. I know we're at 200. I've had some repeats and some best subs, and some other guests have been on more than once. And, I did some solo shows, talking all kind of different stuff. But we've had 85, 86 guests on here, and it would take me next 15 minutes to list everybody off. But I just got to say thank you to, if you're listening to this, if you've been a guest on the show, thank you seriously for taking time out of your day to be a part of this and share your journey and story. I have received so much feedback over the years from the audience referring to certain episodes or struggles that guests have had, sharing your transparency and along your journey. And I just am beyond grateful for you to be on this show. Whether you're a glassblower, whether you're an influencer, somewhere in the medical professional, lawyers, we've had, the run of the gamut of guests on the show. And it's an honor and a privilege to have this platform to be able to bring the guest on this show to then share the knowledge with you, the audience. So also kind of a little side thing. I don't know if you can tell if I'm talking a little differently. I'm missing a front tooth right now. I have a little flipper fake temporary gimmick that goes in there, and it gives me a lisp when I talk, so I don't have it in right now. So you may or may not tell a difference. Maybe you do. I don't know. I know I can, but other than that, I just want to kind of say that. But that being said, so it's been an honor and a privilege to have this show and have this platform and this content and to do this pretty much on a weekly basis. When I first started doing the show, I was really gung-ho about doing 3 days a week. I had a specific layout and topics I wanted to do. I had big dreams and visions of what I wanted to do, but I was also trying to balance my own line of glass work as well as my full-time gig over at the Mouse House, and got to a point where I was just so fucking burnt out, it just led to more or less a downward spiral, which then led to all kind of other shit in my life. And the biggest lesson I've learned from there, which is more or less, don't take on too much. Weed out the fat, find some goals, very specific goals, and the path that you need to take to obtain those goals. And that's pretty much the path I'm on right now. And Rashan and I talk a lot about that in this episode in particular, because him and I are both at a point where we have a lot of clarity. Even in, here we are, I'll be 42 in December. He'll be 42 next month himself. So him and I, again, we have this kind of fun little I can't say lineage. I'm looking for this kind of serendipitous kind of thing going on that him and I both have, but they've been taken to two completely different directions. Again, me having loss, him having gain. But as humans and adults, and as we grow, all these experiences that we go through, make us better and who we are as we grow and learn from experiences, whether they're good or bad. So that's pretty much what my takeaway has been, is just to not take on too much and know when to say no, really is what it comes down to. So that being said, I'm going to have a list of all the artists in the show notes with all their Instagrams. If you guys could go on there and give everybody a follow, and if you want to send a message saying thanks for being on the show, etc., it would be killer. One of the things I am going to be focusing on a lot this next year is the show, the content coming into the show, the video work, our Patreon page. I mean, you name it. There's a lot of stuff right now that I know works. And the only reason I've been able to take my energy and focus it on this specific task is because of the fact that I've stopped making pipes for a while. So my focus on my glass, on the torch, and at home is really going to be focused specifically on this content that I want to create for the show. And a lot of content I've already had created. A lot of the stuff we're actually going to be redoing. My buddy Mark, who's our engraver over where I work at Disney, he has a background in production and video work, so he's going to be helping me get all the video content done in a professional manner. And it's also something he's passionate about within in his world of what he does in the glass world, but he's also passionate about the video work and production. So that being said, I'm pretty stoked to have him on board. As him and I, this is the first of many ventures him and I have kind of planned for the future, which pertain to everything going on with this podcast. So pretty excited about that. So stay tuned as we continue to grow and expand. And do want to thank a couple of our contributing listeners we have that I call my wise asses on our Patreon page. They now have access to the videos and stuff I have on there. And every week I'll be putting up new stuff, new tutorials, kind of some teasers for the online courses, some simple, just introductory lamp working techniques, just a lot of fun stuff. But it's stuff that is going to be exclusive specifically for the Patreon page. For all of our wise asses. And there's 3 different levels I have in there. There's a $1 a month, $5, and $10, and then it goes from there, depending on what you want to contribute to the show. But literally for $120 a year, you're going to have access to a shit ton of content that's going to help you as a glass artist understand the medium that you're working with some basic tutorials and techniques and concepts and things that are really good for fundamental technique and creating good habits as you grow as an artist. And even if you're already an established artist, there's some things that you may see that you didn't think about, different perspectives on some techniques and what have you. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm super pumped about where things are going. And this have a shit ton of clarity, which is the first time I've had this amount of clarity in my brain and in my life in probably the last decade. So it's pretty cool shit. And I'm not saying I'm perfect and things aren't 100% glorious, but, you know, we live day to day and in the moment and do what we can do as we get it. So that being said, if you want to become a Patreon member and a sponsor and help support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/WiseGuyRadio, and you'll see there we have 3 different tiers. And you can sign up for one. You can help out at $12 a year if you want, or you can do it at the $60 a year or the $120 a year. It's all set up monthly, so it depends on what you want to do. But every little penny is very helpful. It's going to allow me to travel to events and shows and other studios, again, to continue to grow this show and get content, whether it's video work, podcast episodes, you name it. It's going to be pretty fucking awesome. I can't believe we're at episode 200. It's crazy. So see what else is going on here. I don't know. There's been so much in the last 4 years. I mean, really, I could sit here for the next 3 hours and just ramble about all the growth and changes we've had between all the new color, the glass competitions, like Tournament of Fire that's going on, which is getting ready to ramp up and start session 3, which will then lead to the Grandmaster Finals, which we have some fun things in the works for that. Just again, it's amazing all the changes and growth and things that have happened for the better. There's been a huge influx of glassblowers, maybe a little bit of an oversaturation. I don't know. That time will tell as this economy kind of weeds out the weak and brings the cream to the top, in a sense, as they like to say. So, yeah, I mean, I really don't know what else to say about it, but it's just an exciting time to be a glass artist and to be in this industry. Whether you're a functional glassblower or you're a non-functional glassblower, I think, well, really all art's functional, whether it makes you smile or you use it to smoke out of. But that being said, it's a pretty cool time to be in this world of glass and as a medium. Whether you're an enthusiast or an actual artist behind the torch or in the hot shop working on the furnaces, doing your thing. It's pretty awesome stuff. So that being said, I'm gonna keep rambling. So I'm gonna wrap this up here because I do talk a little bit at the end of this after Rashan and I got off the phone. So if you could also help us out by leaving a review on whatever podcast catcher that you use. The podcast is now officially on Spotify, which I'm pretty stoked about. I don't know what the hell took me so long. I kept going to their website to get the show loaded. And I just get sidetracked and shit just never got up. So it's up there. So if you have Spotify, you can listen to this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, iTunes, any podcast catcher you have out there. If you can leave us, whether it's a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, however you feel the show needs, as well as a written review. It just helps those particular platforms help the show grow in terms of the ratings and the levels of being able to be seen. And it exposes this industry to the world outside of those who listen now and who know about it. So, yeah, there you go. And I've got some good things that works going on with our newsletters. Again, now that I have, I'm not going to say a ton of free time, but now that I have time dedicated and focused specifically to this content that I'm creating for the show, our newsletters are going to be coming up once a week. I'm going to be talking about our mastermind groups coming up. I've had some people reaching out for that. So just a lot of fun things coming up. Things are going to be getting scheduled out. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a buttload of guests that I have lined up to come on the show for this next chapter of the podcast. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, again, thank you so much, everybody who has listened to the show, downloaded, responded, sent me emails, text messages, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, talked to me in person. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the support and the love that I've received for doing this show. It's an honor and a pleasure to have a voice in this industry and to give you a voice if you've been on the show, but also to give you a voice, and I guess to talk to your friends. Maybe things come up that we've talked about in the show that gives you a chance to have some clarity in your life and to be able to discuss openly and transparently about things that you're dealing with in your life due to influence from the show. So, yeah. Love you so much. Enjoy this episode with Rashan Jones, episode 200. If I had a sound effect for a little air horn or some kind of, or some kind of shit, I would play that. But, this ain't the Monday morning drive to work zoo crew. This is a fucking Wise Guy radio show. So y'all enjoy episode 200. Thank you again. We'll talk to you next time. Enjoy. Peace. What's going on, Dr. Jones? Welcome back to the show, my man.
Man, I can't even believe I'm back, man. Like, I mean, just your hospitality is always amazing. And, 200 episodes? I'm still tripping on that, man. Welcome to number 200. Welcome.
Yeah, you and me both, dude. I'm excited to do this. For those who haven't not had a chance to listen to the first episode, which is not available through any of the podcast bullshits, I've been lazy as fuck getting everything up on the website. But episode 1, you were the first guest. Episode 100, you were there as well, and here we are for episode 200. Hence why this show is taking so long to get out, because you and I are busy as hell, or something comes up, and it's like,
exactly,
let's make this work. So yeah, fucking hey, man, here we are, a month later.
man, and thank you to all your listeners who deal with that, man. I don't know how the timeline works, but I'm just, like I said, man, I'm just happy to be present and just to be able to look back and because I listen to the show, man. I've been on the show a number of times, but know that I really listen to it too. And just because whether it's oh man, that's one of the homies, I haven't caught up with them in a while and I don't have time to call, I'll listen to the show.
Awesome.
Kind of thing, man. So so it's a great show, man. It's a great resource.
Yeah, it's killer. Yeah, it's funny, man, because early on when I was first doing this, it was gung-ho, 3 episodes a week. Here's the schedule, here's the routine. I was 30 hours at every week spending on the show, and it kind of went to two shows a week, and then it went to 1 a week, and then about every 10 days an episode came out, depending on how life was going and scheduling. And now it's whenever the fuck I get it done, I get it done.
Well, look, man, and for the markets you're serving, everybody out there listening has to be able to understand that.
Yeah.
If you're at a place in your glass career or your maker career, man, because I don't know who all tuned into the podcast, but just fact is, that's just how it goes, man. Scheduling is crazy, and if you're in the life, you understand that. Yeah. And it's not it's not a not want to. It's just that just life crops up and gets in the way, man. So I'm happy you adapt to it.
Yeah, me too, man. It's because for me, I'm all about okay, I want to be consistent. I want to have this shit going on. I do the whole best practices things, trying to follow what other podcasters or the successful quote unquote folks out there are doing. That every Monday a show comes out or every Friday. And for me, it would be easy and simple to simplify my life to have it consistent, which I want to do, obviously. So I think this next 100 episodes will probably be a little smoother. But also, man, this last year, dude, but you and I both have had some major life changes. We're talking pre-show. I've went through a pretty big heartbreak and divorce, and you had a baby. So it's complete opposites of the spectrum, but very similar in terms of the paths of reorganizing our lives.
Definitely, man. Life shakeup is life shakeup, no matter how it comes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Well, look.
Yeah. So on your end, yeah, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, it sounds like you're. Well, man, it's happy to hear you really energized, man. Particularly after a year of change, man. So. Dude, I'm let's jump into it, man, because I got questions for you. Because I don't know how much people know about you, so I got questions.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Awesome, man. So, question one I have: how much glass do you get done these days, man? If you don't mind me asking, how much torch time are you really getting? Even at work versus work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you have multiple hats.
Yeah, man. So Disney wise, I'm 45 hours a week, probably 12 hour shifts. Really, we do. And I'm probably on the torch 8 to 9 hours a day in there, cranking away. And part of it for me is the the show is the big part of it because we're on stage. So it's I find there's times where I'm about to go on break and then it's raining outside, so a lot of people come into our store. So because of me wanting to entertain the guests, so they're not being rambunctious in our shop, I'll just say fuck my break. I'll just sit here for another half an hour because rain here, it rains for 5 minutes and then it's done. So, so I'll sit there and do my thing. So sometimes I'm working longer than I really should be. I'm really learning how to pace myself, which is part of my deal too. It's
Nice.
with that, but at home wise, dude, I mean, honestly, I announced it on the podcast a little bit ago, and I still haven't done it on Instagram or social media, but I've really taken a break from the pipes, and I've decided to take like the next year off from functional work at home. I have a couple areas I want to focus on in terms of lines of work. Having my brother on the last episode too, he really got me fired up on really the thought of like I don't actually need to do production anymore. And that, our generation, the mindset was production. And those of us who have been in this 10 years plus now, I mean, maybe 5 years plus, but I would say the 10 years and more don't necessarily have to do production unless you need to for your bread and butter, which keep on doing that shit. But my bread and butter is my paycheck. So now I'm at that mentality space where now I can pick and choose what I want to do, which pick and choose what I want to do, honestly, bro, is nothing right now.
Man, no, I 100% understand. Like, just only because it sounds like, you got to a point where, like you said, man, like, not that glass isn't the focus, but, you get a paycheck from glass. So, like, frankly, is like on the other side of the coin, man, bravo. That's awesome. You're literally living the dream, man. And if it doesn't feel like it every day, it's just because you're working so hard in it. Because, man, paycheck from glass. I mean, boom.
Yeah, but
Awesome.
dude, it does. Like every single day I go there, like I go under the Welcome to Walt Disney World sign that I know that guests save up for 5 years probably to drive under that sign to take a picture of. Here's our vacation starting. I see it every day, and I feel blessed every time I drive under that sign because I know where I'm going, what I'm doing. And it's an opportunity that there's only maybe 12 of us in the world that have this opportunity to have this experience. Something every day I appreciate
that's
it.
tremendous. That's tremendous, man.
Because when you're out in public, you hear people are like, "Oh, you're so talented," or you're they blow a lot of smoke up your ass, and some people just kind of blow it off. But for me personally, I mean, I take it all to heart. Every time someone says something nice, compliment, it's my response is very genuine.
Oh yeah, no, and that like. I still remember my very first feeling like a customer, not even like buying something, but like my Fisher Price first art show back in like 2005, just a customer that wanted to talk to me about my work. And I'm like, you want to talk to me about something I made? And like, I never lost that feeling, man. I think that's what's kind of always pushed me and kept me in the same zone as far as that, just the gratitude is because I'm always so thankful no matter what, like even 18 years in, like, hey, thanks for giving a fuck about what I made. I appreciate that, y'all.
Yeah, it's
that's
huge.
an awesome feeling.
And whether they're showing their appreciation with dollar signs or just a round of applause or a pat on the back, it doesn't matter, man. It's all the same to me.
Yeah, well, I think I think you have a unique perspective on that though, because like, I mean, you are a demo artist, man. Like you make things with your hands, but a lot of your job is the showmanship and the education piece and showing people just kind of what we do. And so I think, man, like the claps matter. Like I'm quick to say that, likes on social media don't really matter, but like real world claps matter, dude. People who are spending their vacations and taking time out of that vacation to come watch you do your thing, that's huge. So it's cool that you understand, that you're able to understand that, man, because that's awesome.
Yeah, and especially, having that platform to expose people, because I get it all the time, like people that had no idea how any of the stuff that we make is made, and they're like, you made this, so this is how this is made, the same way you're doing this right now, and it's, they're blown away. And it's cool to see those who are inspired. I get kids that come into the stores that want to hang out and watch me do what I'm doing instead of going on Space Mountain or some shit, which I love.
That's amazing.
It's hilarious. I've actually had to turn my torch off before because being a parent, I understand when the parents are like, "Come on, kids, let's go." So I've had to like turn my torch off, be like, "All right, kids, you guys got to go," kind of thing.
Yep.
Show's over.
Mom and Dad sound serious.
Yeah,
we're gonna shut it down.
They look at me like, "Okay, I'll help you guys out."
Exactly.
But but part of my focus really with HomeWise on the torch is that the time I'm spending in the studio now is dedicated to educational space with my online courses that I've been quote unquote in beta test for like the last fucking year with. And I've got students who are amazingly patient. We've been talking and I've been sharing stuff and whatever, but I'm creating a shit ton of video content. So if I'm on the torch at home, that's time is being spent and it's being recorded of what I'm doing video lessons and stuff. I have my Patreon for the podcast. So like I have a bunch of videos I've been putting up for people who are on a certain level in the Patreon, as what I call my wise asses. They have access, to right, dude. This whole thing's been fucking awesome.
I'm sorry. Pardon me as I die, yo. Wise asses. That's awesome. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's okay. That's why I call my audience. They're all my wise asses.
Oh
So,
man.
yeah, it's fun, right? But I can't put that on my descriptions on iTunes because they'll flag it. So I gotta put like dollar signs next to it or something like that, for the S's. But then I put dollar signs on there, and I'm like, well, the wise asses are paying me money, so I put dollar signs in there, which makes me feel guilty and kind of like, what the fuck am I doing? It's just weird. But yeah, man. So that's kind of where
No,
it's
man.
been at, But I'm also like spending time out in the garden, like pulling weeds and just doing shit that I just used to do. All these things
Yeah.
that I can do now.
Look, man. The rebuild process is important, man. And it sounds like it sounds like you get a good track on it, and that when it comes to even things like just weeding the garden, like that's stuff that I'm the same way. Like I used to do, and then just the stresses of life as are they are. So when I get ready to when I'm trying to get back to center, yeah, dude, I'm literally back cleaning up dog shit instead of making my teenager do it, picking out weeds out of the fucking basil garden, things like that, dude, and just trying to stay centered and like reminding myself what's important. So I feel you.
Yeah, it's huge, man. There's nothing better than going out and mowing the grass. I know some people hate that shit, but I love it. Just going out there
Yeah.
and spending 40 minutes just throwing on my headphones and just go mow the yard.
Yep.
You know?
Good process completion, man. It's important.
Yeah, it's huge, and it's also important for anybody to understand that if you're in the studio all the time, you're killing yourself. You're killing your soul. You're killing your brain. Everything. Like, get the fuck out of the studio.
Dude, it really took this last year to remind me of that because, look, I'll just tell you straight up, man. I'm a crazy person. So, all right. So my wife's an attorney. I'm a full-time artist. I'm traveling a bunch, and so once the baby got here last August, my wife got picked up by a new firm. And so it was like, well, what are we going to do for childcare? And I'm like, look, I got it. And so my whole plan was to get up every single morning, 6 or 7, knock out breakfast for the family. She goes to work. I hang out with the boys all day. And then when she gets home at 5, I cook dinner. And I'm in the studio from like 7 till midnight. Then we do it again. Bro, that might have worked when I was 23 raising my first boy. I'm 40. I'll be 42 next month. Like, get out of here. I was like, well, literally looking back on it, I was like, what was I even thinking? Because, like, I can't do that. No one can maintain that schedule.
Yeah.
So I've been really, really pulling back a lot. And it actually, I'll be straight up, man, got a little scary for me last holiday because I do a ton of my money for the year during the holidays, maybe 2/3 of my income from like September to January, we'll say. And that last year was the first year that I had to like really be like, no, I can't do that, or no, I'm not doing that show. No, I can't, just because frankly, I didn't have time to serve the customers, and I was really beating myself up like, the business was failing. I can't even meet holiday orders. What kind of flame worker am I? And I'm like, I had to take a deep breath back, man, because like frankly, we signed a new lease on the studio back in November, so almost a year ago, and I almost didn't sign it. I was like, well, I'll just pull back. I'll go to the house. We'll shut this down and just, we'll restart in a couple years when Henry's older. And right about then, man, I had a couple buddies hit me up like, hey, man, I need somewhere to work. And I'd never really considered renting space ever at a high desert. Like, like to my apprentice or like a guy I'm working with, like maybe, but like not full scale build out desks and that kind of thing. And sure enough, man, that's what we ended up doing. So now, like, I don't have wise asses because I think they'll get mad if I call them that.
You're right.
But I got the guys. I got 6 core solid flame workers that 2 are students. So they're there maybe part-time, but I got 2 or 3 like dedicated full-time guys. So basically, man, my shop experience these days is just management. Like if there's a personnel conflict, like someone took someone's red, I'm on that. Or like, I'm down there 3 mornings a week just shaking the doer and checking propane because that's all included. But like that's been a lot of my last year, and really only in the last month or so have I been back on the torch really. So it's been yeah, man, I feel you as far as like just the weirdness of pulling back because I was trying to be comfortable with the fact that I am a full-time artisan, just not right now. Like It's okay if I take this time off for me because if I don't, I'm not going to make it.
Yeah, it's so important, dude. Like, and for myself, like, going through what experience I went through, like I'm driving down I-4 fucking, leaving a city that I lived in for 41 years, literally, grew up in. Like I missed the smell of the ocean, kind of deal. That's which is why part of with my kids being in St. Pete, I can get back there and get my ocean fix. Except right now it's fucking red tide, so I'm not going to be breathing that shit in. But other than that, I miss it. But like I'm driving here to Orlando, tears pouring down my face, like in kind of like a sadness and joy, kind of all this just like overwhelming emotions. I'm moving somewhere new, moving into a place with a person who I've only gotten to really know a little bit, kinda. And then I'm here. I settle in. Fucking Hurricane Irma comes through. My roommate and I were out of power for 10 days. So her and I got to really get to know each other on you know,
Oh yeah.
really good level,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah.
And here I am, pretty much a year later. I had the house to myself. I'm Airbnb-ing out half the house, which I love hosting people. I love having parties. I don't do parties, but I have a chance now to host people, and it's paying for the space. And my roommate who owns the house is having her bills paid because people have a place to stay. Like, there's all these little weird things that I just never expected to happen. But all these things, like, I had to really get here, and I had to cut literally everything out of my life. Like, I just did a complete reset, my fitness, everything. And I was like, just little by little, just started adding the important things back into it. And if it didn't feel right, then I didn't go that direction. You know what I mean? Where now I feel like I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not juggling all these plates like I've done in the past. Because you and me both, dude. We're type A personalities. We want to fucking run the universe with,
Yeah,
all of
yeah,
our
for
all
sure,
of our two
for sure.
hands that we have. You know?
Like,
and
like,
nobody
dude,
helping.
I don't just want to run it. I want to run it, and I'd rather not have help.
Yeah,
I
it's like,
just
what do you
wanna
mean
do it.
delegate?
You know what I mean?
So
I feel you, man.
yeah. So like in the delegation aspect, like this, I've been seeing this chick now for a while, and she's super awesome. She's very organized. Like her work schedule is on my calendar, where my work schedule is not on my calendar. You know what I mean? So, so I'm like, hey, hon, if you want some more time with me, here's some areas of my life within the podcast here, especially that I need help in. So she's going to start helping me do things like contacting the guests to get on the show. I got like 15 people that are waiting for me to contact and like, hey, let's get you scheduled. Now, part of it is because I've been waiting to get 200 done, which we are now recording. And it's an excuse because I could have already had all these other interviews waiting, recorded, and done, and we could have done ours, and then we could have posted it, and theirs could have gotten posted, whatever. But that being said, I'm learning now how to delegate properly in the areas that I actually need the help in. Some areas you think you need help in, really you just need to get that shit out of your life, is what it comes down to it.
Yep.
So.
Man, the get that shit out of your life is man, that resonates. Only because that's really what this year has been about for me, man. Like I said, man, like I know we're both on opposite ends of the spectrum as far as like your heartbreak versus like the birth of the baby, but like ultimately, a lot of it is the same conflict and same like boiling it down to like what do I really actually need to survive and what's benefiting my life and what isn't.
Yeah, exactly. And simplifying it.
Exactly. Oh man, all right. So so question number 2. See, I'm still on question 2, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, dude. Me too.
All right. What is your most fun thing to make at work? Is that a fair question? I'm sure you got to answer this like 9 times a day, but I'm just curious. Like, is there a particular figurine you like doing, or do you like teaching more? Or like, what's the one thing that still gets you energized when you are on the torch?
Well, my default answer is always just the fact that I can be there and do what I do and paid for it as a childhood experience. I've always wanted to work for Disney as an artist. So, the glass experience, glass was never even a thought. I never even knew I could do it for a living. I figured I'd draw or paint or something for Disney, but here I am making characters in glass. So early on, it was really just everything I could make. Now that I'm doing characters and stuff, the character work has been awesome. With Olaf being the first, but now I've been making this Figment dude, and Figment has honestly so far my entire glass career has been the most frustrating and learning thing I've actually picked up. And I got a chance to actually work with somebody on this piece, and a couple small little nuances that Joe Brubaker is one of our. This guy's a master sculptor. I mean, you see his work. He's doing these characters that are like 14 inches tall. They probably weigh like 5 pounds, and and they're all fucking identical, and they look like they're a mold made. Like it's crazy. But he showed me a couple little small like specific lamp working techniques that I was never shown being self-taught, and these little small details completely changed my entire perspective on how I view my work now. To a point where I've gone back through all my shit that I've made. I have like 25 items that I've done, I should say. Now I have like maybe 12 on my list. I've literally gone back through every single one of them, including all my characters, and revised and cleaned everything up. And it's really weird when one little thing like that just like changes your whole entire perspective on it. And for me, it's all about cleanliness. It's about integrity in your work. Not even just the show, but just those two little small things were game changers for me. And having somebody, we have an art director with our company now, which is also new for us. We've had within myself, outside of myself, within our company, we've had a lot of growth, a lot of changes going on, a lot of awesome, amazing things. For a company who's been around with Disney for 50 years, things are evolving and changing. So we have a new art director, and our art director, her mentor is the guy we go to for all of our character integrity at Disney for Disney animation approval. So it doesn't even leave her desk unless it's 110%. So, like, I literally went through 6 months and 12 revisions of this character until finally she's like, he's ready to go to Disney. and it was always
Awesome.
like the finest little little tweak. So he goes to Disney Animation, they approve him, I get it back, I get the piece going, I'm starting production. Now I'm learning a new character for one, because when you do something new, it's all about repetition, learning muscle memory, the steps, blah blah blah. A piece that takes 3.5 hours, if you need to make 50 of them to get muscle memory done, do the math, it's like a shit ton of fucking time to really get this piece down. So, like, I got to a point where I'm not only learning this new character, but I'm also running a GTT, which is something new for me. I've been running a Carlisle for the last almost 20 years. So,
Okay, so you switched up. All right.
Yes.
Which GTT are you on? Which one are you on?
It's the Mirage, I guess. It's the bigger
Okay, cool.
one.
Yeah. The not the Phantom, but then the not the Delta Maggie. Yeah, the Mirage. That's a great burner, man. I ran that for about 10 years. I love that torch.
Yeah, it's great. But what I was having problems with is because it was new for me, I was running it too hot and I was getting DVIT. So, like, literally, like, the first dozen characters I made that were 3.5 hour pieces, I went through, like, I was able to salvage 6 of them, having to remove the DVIT, wipe it away, rebuild the piece, blah, blah, blah. So I just, like, I did what I wasn't sure if it was me or if it was what was going on. And then I went back to after working, because basically, kind of back up, part of our restructuring is every other Friday we now get warehouse time, so we can go to our warehouse, work with each other, try new shit, experiment, whatever. So after my warehouse day of fixing these guys, realizing maybe what the issue was, not really sure, I went back to the studio, went back to on stage to the store, made my figments, had the same fucking issue. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized it was the torch. So I removed it. I put a Bravo. It's a Bethlehem. It's not a tiger shark. Maybe it is a tiger shark. I don't know. Either way, getting on that torch. It changed everything. It went back to where I was. Like, I understood the glass again. No DVIT issues.
Okay.
None of that shit. You know what I mean? Because, like, to me, like, the Carlisle was like a nice gradual heat. The Bethlehem's a nice gradual heat. The GTT's like solid as soup. No in between. So I had to.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm only happy to hear you address that, just because, like, as an OG, like, as a veteran in the game, man, like, that GTT learning curve is serious business, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're just not used to running it, yeah, no, I've always compared it to, like, it gets the glass hot in such a different and unique way. So, like, I always felt like my Nortels are like my regular oven. The Carlisle's like a convection oven. GTT's like a microwave, man.
Yeah.
That shit just bloop quick. So
yeah, it's like cutting butter with a lightsaber. It's like it's fucking done, and it melts everything. So now that I figured that shit out, dude, because it was completely defeating, dude. I mean, not to mention I had just had 6 months of development on a piece of saying, no, this is not right. No, this is not right, over and over and over, which I appreciated, because I take that kind of feedback, not to heart. I just take it to as an artist. Like, thank you, you're making me a better artist. But then it was like I was having these fucking issues. Like, I've been melting glass for so long, I never have had DVIT issues, and all of a sudden I'm having DVIT. So I'm back on the GTT.
Like, it's not me. It's not me. It's the torch.
Yeah.
No.
That's what it became. But it was kind of me too, because it was it was like going from driving a stick shift to a manual back to a stick shift again. It was weird. So that being said, but I guess in the long answer of all this, to summarize what my favorite things to do are really things I get to make for guests that have some kind of significance, to memorialize a lost loved one or something of that nature. And I've had a lot of moments, like what we call magical moments, with guests that they've actually created for me. Like, our goal is to create the magical moments for the guests, but I've had them create them for me. Where, like, even just recently, about 3 weeks ago, I had a family come in and they were asking me to make a custom piece for them, and my minimum for custom work is $50, no matter how big or small that is, because of time wise. And all they wanted was this purple teardrop, and I'm like, it's going to take me 3 minutes. I can't charge you $50. And, like, the entire family was there. It was like 10 people. And they, the husband, the dad that was there, the older gentleman in the family, the patriarch, if you want to call him, started to explain to me that what they wanted was a purple teardrop to symbolize his wife, who he had just lost the previous week, that they've been married for 20 years. And it was actually 19 years. They were getting ready to celebrate their 20th anniversary, and she passed away before that,
Man.
And purple was like a significant color to her. So, he's telling me the story, and I'm like, my heart's like, in his hand, basically. And I'm like, I started counting. I counted the whole family. I'm like, how about I do for $50? I'll make everybody one. And I'll make a couple extras in case there's any fuck-ups. So they sat there and watched me make like 8 of 10 of them. And after they all burnt their eyes out of their head, they went away for a bit. And then they came back. And they're like, well, we have something for you. And I'm like, what do you mean you got something for me? So they gave me this little silk orchid flower that was a purple flower, and it had a little piece of paper attached to it that had like a little story about the woman, about how much she loved people in general and Disney and the color purple and what it meant to her and the happiness and joy. And they were randomly handing these out to people, just randomly people out, even around just guests in general. They were just like, hey, we wanted to share this with you. So one of the granddaughter read me the little thing on there and gave it to me. And then they gave me a little button, like a little like Disney pins that people collect. And it was this little gingerbread man. And I guess one of her favorite things at Christmas time was to make gingerbread man with the family. So like, you know, I mean, dude, it was such a awesome, for me, just the gratitude I had to have that experience, to give them that experience. And then everything was, you know, it's like these, I have a bond with this family forever when it comes down to it. You know what I mean? It's just, it was incredible. So those little kind of things are, for me personally, what I appreciate and enjoy the most.
Well, man, and what you touched on, like, just so perfectly, man. It's just one of the greatest things about our medium is just the intimacy, as it were. Like, just, you know, you call a magical moment indeed, dude. Like, I was literally hanging on every word, like, oh my God, the purple flower, there was a story. Like, dude, like just that level of being able to connect with people is so important, particularly now, man. Like, you know, I don't want to get too deep into like, oh, the state of the world, but like, fact is, man, like, everyone is looking for ways to connect with other people. Everyone feels a little bit isolated right now. So like, the fact that they could make that moment for you, and you're just trying to be cool, like, I just don't want to charge you $50 for a teardrop, turns into like such a true magical moment, man. Yeah. Like that's glass, man. Like, that's why I do it. I assume that's why you do it. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I think, man, you know, just in general, why I do what I do, no matter what I'm doing, whether it's this podcast or just walking down the street, you know.
Yep.
Just the connections we make.
Oh man. So all right. So all right, tell me something interesting you got coming up for the next year, man. I mean, can I peel back behind into the secret cupboard and see what you got brewing, or what you got going on for the next year, man? What's your expectations coming up?
Well, ultimately, the getting this online courses going, something I've been wanting to do for a while, which I've talked with you about and talking about past episodes, was doing the mastermind groups and really starting to bring together artists to have this kind of conversation, you know, once a week or once a month, even just based on time, but to kind of get into, you know, in a mentor type of situation. And, you know, and I always feel like when you're ready for it, you're ready for it, you know, and I definitely know that up until this point, I wasn't ready for it. Like, even at a mature level, like, how can I mentor somebody if I'm in this fucked up place where I'm at right now, type of thing.
Yeah.
You know? So I've got a lot of clarity. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I'm not perfect. Shit in my life's still getting together. But that being said, I feel like I'm in a space where I can share and help and grow even more so myself, but also help other artists around us. And what's fucking been awesome was when I first designed the show, the avatar, per se, that I created was this 18 to 21-year-old fresh out of high school, maybe college, that wasn't sure what to do, but maybe wanted to make some glass stuff, was interested in it, and here's how you do it, you know, kind of thing. And the response I've gotten from people reaching out to me has been that demographic completely. So it's been fun to see, but also the OGs like yourself. Like, it's fun hearing and getting responses from glassblowers who've been doing this for 20 years who appreciate just having company in their studio, you know, kind of thing, or get reinvigorated from hearing a younger glassblower who's fucking fired up because they're new, you know. So I guess a lot of it really is really just focusing and honing in my time to get the level of this show to a point to where I've wanted it to go. My buddy Mark, who I'm an engraver with at Disney, him and I have a couple projects. He has a background in film production and TV production, commercials and what have you. So he's going to help me do all my video work. So it's kind of this little perfect storm's come together where him and we've got a couple other projects outside of that area in terms of glass blowing. We had some guests come in recently that they asked for, and this is always how things always start. I get asked for a custom piece of glass. I started talking to him about what they wanted. The guy was asking me if I can do his business logo, and I'm like, we really can't, but maybe we can. We can figure it out. Well, next thing I know, as I'm talking to these guys, this family started this coral reef enthusiasts convention in Canada last year, which turned out to become the largest convention for for coral reef and live saltwater tank enthusiasts in the world, or not in the world, but in Canada. And So, and they were telling me about it, and he's like, if you guys want to come up for next year, let me know. I can get you the information to be a vendor. So,
awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
So fucking in March, I'm going to be going up to this thing and selling some glass up in Canada, doing this convention up there.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever been up that way?
No, no, and it's in Niagara, Canada too, so it's not too far, across the border.
Dude, look, if you end up going up there, man, you're a glass guy, so I'm sure you'll make the time. But like, try and holler at Maddie Funk up at Nortel because they're super close to Niagara. They're maybe like 40 minutes from there.
Okay.
And it's worth it. It's worth it, dude. Toronto has a really, really good glass scene. And it's right by Niagara. It's
Okay.
a good time.
Yeah, good to know. Yeah, I'm going to talk. I got to talk to my accountant about the whole how I should go about selling my wares up there in a sense, and the just the taxes you got to pay and whatever.
Yeah.
Because like the guy that hosts the thing, he's like, dude, if you want to just send all your shit to me, we'll just bring it to the show. Because I guess it's set up for basically you show up, they have a table, they've got a curtain set up like the whole 9 yards, so there's no issues. You just show up and you sell your shit. So it's
nice.
It's interesting. And then the following month is America's version of the same thing, which is going to be held right here at SeaWorld in Orlando. So, and he put me in contact with those people. Yeah, so I've got like back-to-back months of these big coral reef fucking things. So ideally, I'll just put out samples and then take orders, or maybe I'll just bring merchandise and just sell what I have. I got to figure that part out.
That's nice. He's like, I know what I'm doing. I just got to make it. But I can do it. Yeah, dude, that's
exactly.
Awesome. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so that's kind of what's been going on. Yeah.
Hold on real quick. I'm looking at how long we've been on the phone only because my teenager just knocked on the door and I was wondering how long that was going to take. I was like, Dad's doing really important recording stuff, so don't come up here. Or maybe a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, we got 40 minutes in.
Dude. Oh, man. Well, dude, that's exciting, man. Just to hear you opening up other avenues for just doing the stuff you really enjoy doing. I don't know, man. After traveling so long, I taught a class out in Penland with Roger Paramore, and back in October, and it was so weird because that's something I'd always wanted to do, like glass-wise. It's like just go there. So just the fact that I could TA and do a little bit of instructing out there was just like an absolute mind trip.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, man, I quietly came home and, like I said, like locked up my studio and didn't even touch glass for like 60 days. It was so weird.
Huh.
And so now I'm like I said, man, like just trying to find new opportunities and just like I'm not going to be traveling as much, so I'm mostly just looking for things to do here at home. And so that's been a little weird for me because I'm so used to thinking like not bigger than Albuquerque, as it were, but just doing other things. Like I live here, but I work other places. It's kind of always been the way it's worked out. And so now that I'm actually working here, it's a little bit interesting, but I'm enjoying it.
Well, it's what I find is interesting right now in our the glass industry in general is that people that the artists that have been doing it for as long as you and I have are really gearing up in the educational space. Those that can, and it seems like financially wise, they're making more money teaching than they are actually creating product lines, which I think is pretty awesome. And it's I think
that's 100% true.
It's the opportunity is there for those that want to jump into that space. It's just understanding how to get to that point because you're seeing like through social media and stuff. All these different variations of production companies that are coming into our scenes that are doing a lot of video work nowadays, or these webinars and what have you. So I guess we're all trying to find our new niche in a sense within this, a niche within a niche within a niche.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of crazy.
I mean, it's this because I'm of two minds, man. Because like right now, do I think that there are too many flame workers at a ground level for it to be sustainable and everybody kind of succeed? No, I do not. But at the same time, while you're here, man, if I can be of any use to a flame worker, then I want to be that. Like, me, man. Like, I love teaching. I love instructing.
Mm-hmm.
That aha moment when like a beginner pulls their first like proper stringer, it's amazing. Like, I love that moment. So I recreate it often. And it's just, I don't know, man, just like you said, man, just that niche inside a niche, but inside another niche kind of thing. And just trying to figure out how to be the best in that space. So...
Yeah, I've always liked the term like your zone of genius, like where you can take all these things that you're really, really good at and then put them in this one little entity that potentially could become highly successful if you do it the right way. Mm-hmm. It's just by executing it the right way. Because like last time we talked on the show, you were just getting ready to launch your Jones Art Glass homeware, line of glass and...
Oh man, it has been a minute.
Yeah, dude,
wow.
that was like that was like 2 years ago. So like, and then you were doing your children's educational stuff, through the programs that you're getting, financed through. So there's a lot of various things that you were doing, and as we all like to do, for me personally, I would love to have my studio having 10 guys out there right now cranking out production for me with a catalog I'm selling to every fucking shop in the country.
Yep.
But
man, and. You know what? That's the hard part. Particularly locally, a lot of people are under this. They labor under this delusion that like I have renters, but they don't really touch my product line. Like I have two, like my buddy Kale, who, dude, I've known Kale. His first class when he was 16, and homie's like 28 now. He's been kind of in and out of the game forever, and he's been back solid for the last few years. So, like, if I need something done, I can holler at him. But pretty much, they all maintain their own product lines. So, like, I don't just have them working on a catalog. But a lot of that, though, is, like, that's why I've been kicking myself, man, is because they're all younger than me. They're all hungry. And a lot of them working with me is because, unfortunately, they think I have it all figured out just because I have, like, a family. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. But I'm trying to be. I'm in a process now of just trying to be a better leader, because it starts with just one product, like one thing that we all don't mind making, and we have a huge diversity in the shop because I have 3 dudes who all they want to make is pipes, which is not a problem. It's just not what I make all day long. So like we don't have a whole lot to talk about work wise. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, do you guys want to help me make these shot glasses? Oh, no, you're making a rig. I don't want to interrupt you. Never mind. So, like, I'm trying to find a product that we can all make together as we come into the holidays. And it'll probably be hot air balloons because this is Albuquerque and whatever. It'll be hot air balloons. But, like, yeah, man, I'm actually trying to look for something in that space because, frankly, I now have enough manpower. I have enough dedicated, talented flame workers that I feel like I should be putting better things into the pipeline. And that's not just for my pockets, but to help them grow, because that's something I didn't have. I had really good mentors, but like, as far as proto, man, like, I learned doing production from making pipes. Like that was the deal.
Yeah.
So I brought that into the other areas, but like, yeah, right now I'm just trying to find ways to kind of maximize the space I'm in because, yeah, we're still doing the kids program. God bless the Jones at Home collection and everybody that has bought it for the last 2 years, because I got a kid in college now and I just bought some books and that was all glass money. Thanks, guys. So
awesome.
But yeah, man, I mean, that's just, I'm just trying to be smarter about the space I'm in and just refine. So.
Yeah, and it's fun, man, because I'll be 42 myself in December, so we're on that same midlife crisis.
Yes, sir. Dude, I feel like such a cliche, man. Like, I got winded holding the baby while we were out for a walk because he didn't want to be in his stroller, and I was like, oh, man, I'm 41. I should really... So, like, that day I went back and re-signed up for the gym, that kind of thing, dude. I feel like such a cliche, but, like, it matters, dude. Like, I got such a young person on my hands now that, like, I basically have to, like, change my life expectancy plans because I have 18 years in between my kids. But, I'm feeling healthier. I'm looking better, so that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, man. All right. So, what, man, I was going to ask you what was your favorite interview, like, the entire time, but, like, I mean, it's obviously me, and that's fine.
Oh, of course. That's why you're on always.
But now, man, give me some highlights from the last few years, like show-specific stuff, man. Like what's something that you know now that you didn't know when you first started the podcast experience? Because I think a lot of people have questions about that space, and I'd love to kind of pick your brain about it. Like, what's something really, really, like, give me a couple of, like, your top hits of things you've learned while you've been doing that.
I would say the number one biggest thing I've learned is to shut the fuck up and learn how to listen. Because, like,
ooh, I'm bad at, okay.
Because, like, yeah, dude, me too, bro. Because I'm like Mr. Interruption midway. I'm trying to, like, I assume what you're about to say, so I know what you're going to say, so I'll just finish the sentence for you, kind of shit,
Exactly.
Because I know everything.
Dude, oh, man, it's like talking to a mirror. I understand.
Yeah. So I've had that's the biggest takeaway I've gotten from this, really, honestly, is learning how to shut the fuck up. But it's kind of funny, man, because, like, everything I do in life, I just do it and figure it out, like that whole build your wings on the way down kind of thing. And it's not always a good thing because it tends to take a lot longer to get down, to ultimately to the goal. But you really learn the process better. So, I've learned, for one, how to interview and how to communicate and how to shut the fuck up. But also, I've learned, like, when I do these interviews, I listen back to the shows, because I know it's funny. I listen to a lot of podcasts where they're like, the hosts are like, I never listen to my shows. I hate my voice. And it's not that I don't hate my voice. I enjoy listening to myself, but I also enjoy listening to the conversation because it gets me fired up, dude. Like, there's been some interviews, like listening to like JD Mableton's episodes. I've gotten so much response from, like, him, because he's just, like, straightforward from the hip. He gets me so fucking jacked up. Like, I'm ready to like turn off the interview. Like, hey, dude, let me call you back. I gotta go make something real quick, kind of shit.
Exactly.
So it's, I can't say any specifics. I know early on, like, I had Coil on, like, early on, and I would say episode-wise. And, being the personality he is, I had a specific direction I wanted to take this show. And he was actually the one guest that really was like, this isn't what this community is about. Like, because I was, like, trying to get, like, business out of him. And he's like, you can talk to my accountant about that. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, okay, what do I say next? You know, kind of thing. And it
Yeah.
really made me aware of kind of the way I wanted to steer the direction of this show, but also like kind of the direction of where this industry was going early on, like 4 years ago. You know, and you look at where Coyle is now compared to where he was even then. He's in a similar space, but he's also in a completely different space in terms of his career. And, you know, and I guess we all are in a sense too. But he was a big, because you were the first interview, and then I listened back to the show and I'm like, fuck, I've been doing this forever, even though it was the first one. And then I had Coyle on, and the Coyle was like the wake up call, like, okay, I got to make sure that I definitely have some kind of real direction, but I got to be able to evolve and pivot, you know.
Yeah.
And then it got into, trying to figure out the format and how I wanted to do things. But, you know, I think just overall in general, it's given me a chance to kind of to just meet artists that I've been wanting to meet, even if it's just through the phone and develop relationships. And I still talk to a lot of guests that I've had on the show. It may be once every couple months, or so, like you and I, I'll hit you up every once in a while saying, hey, dude, how are you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, dude. Because we're actually friends. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
we damn sure can't get together like I wish we could. But, like, no, man, I definitely, like, beyond, like, just, being coworkers and colleagues, like, the intimacy of the medium, the shared understanding, and then your show, like, yeah, man, I very much consider you a friend. And just because, like, you're willing to come out week after week and, I mean, you ask great questions, and you get to the heart of these issues, but, like, you also reveal a little bit of yourself. And so, like, as someone who's been on the show, it's one thing for me to do it for a few hours when I'm talking to you, but, like, week after week, month in and month out, you're willing to make yourself vulnerable and share what you're going through. And that's huge. Like, you're one of the strongest flame workers I know, just because you have the job you have. So it's super, super public. And then in your spare time, you bare your soul and your insecurities on the radio. So, like, that's huge, man. I really, really admire you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. And it's something that's unique for me too. I mean, it's I've had to learn how to. I guess it's kind of weird, man. It's like the whole, like, dance like nobody's watching kind of thing. And so when, like, when I'm doing these solo shows, in a sense, it's just me and the microphone, and I know that there's people listening on the other side eventually, but immediately it's the being transparent, and it's sharing our mistakes, because all of us artists, we all have got our flaws. I mean, humans in general have our flaws, but artists in particular, we have a shit ton of fucking issues, whether it's emotional, mental, financial, whatever it is. So I've had them all. I've dealt with all of them. So I'm now sharing how I've dealt with them and the ones I'm still going through. And if it helps people, it helps people. I mean, even sharing my suicide attempt on here, I never thought in a million fucking years I would tell anybody outside of my family about that. And then I shared it with thousands of people around the world.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, man. Just the raw vulnerability, and, like, even just the stuff you're going through now as far as, like, change of life. Like, man, it's one thing to share that, but when you do, man, like, you do it in a way that, like, just, it's empowering, man, because literally everyone goes through it, man. Like, even, you and I have touched on suicide, just, like, I think lightly on the first episode. Just some of my struggles as far as, like, my son's mother. Yeah, man, like, I've been there. Like, when I see things online about people, like, if you've ever really been there, in the darkness, and I'm like, no. Like, I've been there, and I never thought, like, same thing, man. Well, I never thought I would talk to anyone outside my family about that. And now, like, I find that it does do good, because for whatever reason, people, once you get to a certain level in this game, it just by staying in it, people look up to you and they want to know, like, what are the secrets for longevity?
Yeah.
And that kind of thing. And it's like just being honest and genuine with yourself and accepting that, like, no matter how flawless the work is or the process may look in a demo, like, we're all just people and, like, just going through all the same kinds of shit, man. So, again, just hats off to you, man, for just starting this process and just building this platform, because it has interconnected a lot of us, and that's huge.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I appreciate that, man. It's been a good therapy session for me too, doing it. Like, we all have our therapy sessions on the Torch, but then to be able to have one here,
Yeah, no, totally, dude. Like, man, even on that, like, since I wasn't working, I literally started back seeing a therapist again, which is actually my therapist, the one that was like, you know what, like, I can help you, but, like, it really sounds like you really just need to blow some fucking glass. So I went home. So, like, seriously, because, like, dude, because I just literally, like, I was coming with all these different issues, and my therapist was like, well, in the past, how have you gotten through that? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I hop on the Torch and I fucking cry and, like, figure my shit out, and, like. And, like, literally my therapist was like, yeah, like, cool seeing me, but, like, you should go do that. You should get your shit together. So, like, yeah, man, it's a process, and I'm thankful to have strong people like you in it, because, yeah, then I don't feel like a weirdo when I'm going through it.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
Again, thanks, bro.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, been there, done that, brother. Not be able to see
Yeah.
through your glasses because your fucking eyes are
Yep.
all full of tears.
Yep. Dude, I was telling the shop guys that because, like, they are younger. And so when I'm talking to them, I'm like, yeah, dude, like, I use glass, like, as an emotional release. And so they know now that, like, if I come down there, like, on a random afternoon, like, it's not a matter of expecting me. No one knows when I'm coming in anymore.
Right.
But I'll just pop up. And if I'm there to, like, blow glass and, like, I figured out how to not have either child during daylight hours, just leave me alone. Like, if I'm in my headphones and you see me looking tense, like, I'm good because I'm in my happy place. You don't even have to check on me. Like, don't come interrupt me. Like, I'm good. I'm here. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean? So,
Yeah, it's so
oh
important.
man, yeah, dude, definitely. Okay, man. So coming up, like, pretty much, I imagine the show's just going to continue on in this fine, fabulous fashion, man.
Yeah.
Are there any what artists are you still missing? Do you think, man?
Oh,
If I may ask that. Like, I mean, I know there's thousands.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, and what's been interesting with this is trying to find the direction that I wanted to go in, because like being a piper at heart, I really wanted to focus on glass in general, and it's turned into pipe makers a lot of what I bring on, but I'm also very particular with who I bring on pipe maker wise. I love bringing on the new guys. I've had a lot of new artists on, which has been a lot of fun. I mean, even guys
yeah,
and gals that have been doing this for maybe 6 months or so. But
yeah.
overall, bringing in different genres and glass artists in here, even like Mike Souza, like dude's got fucking a wealth full of knowledge. He just loves to
Yep,
teach and share. So
Like Mike Souza, I'll interject just to say
yeah,
that Mike Souza is one of those dudes that, like, I wouldn't know if not for the internet, but, like, he's on, like, read first status. If that man posts about his breakfast, it shows up in my feed first because he's always posting such amazing stuff, man. I love everything he does.
yeah, dude's
Well, he's like,
yeah.
what is that, a flux capacitor? That's amazing. What are you,
Yeah.
time traveling? That's fucking cool. So, but yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. But
Awesome.
I want to bring on some. I would love to get like some older, like Santini or somebody big out there who's a maestro that's been doing this for fucking 80 years. Kind of stuff. Just to pick their brains, and kind of talk about their struggles and what they've gone through, and being now in the current times of where our scene is in the world of glass. Because, dude, there's things being made right now in the hot shop that I don't think anybody ever in the history of glass would have ever thought would be fucking possible. I mean, it's fucking crazy seeing some of the shit being made right nowadays. It's just there's been times I wanted to hang my torch up. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking tapping out. I'm just gonna sit here on Instagram all day and just look at this shit. Fuck making it. So I guess kind of like that kind of areas where I want to start bringing people on. In the pipe world, there's a shit ton of people I still want to hit up. I would still love to get like Marcel Braun on, the Jason Lees of the world, the Deppies, like all the older guys. Snodgrass is obviously one of them, but then like to bring on like a Tommy Chong or some shit like that, like somebody that's outside of the industry, but now is, in a commercial sense, he's kind of in this industry, because.
Well, no, and I'll say has, like, I mean, maybe he's never actually made a bong, but, like, few people have been as influential.
Yeah.
As far as the industry, man.
Oh,
like,
dude, yeah.
So yeah, that's man, that'd be an excellent come up.
I mean, I can't tell you how many fucking times when I worked at Subway where I'd come in there completely blasted out of my head after watching Cheech and Chong all day after school, and I'm like talking to my guests like, hey man, what you want on your sandwich today, kind of shit. Because I'm still in like my Cheech and Chong mode, kind of shit.
Exactly. Hey man.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, you know what, man? Like, all right, so like just like dad struggles. So I got the 18-year-old boy. I make pipes. I don't know if you heard. Like, I make some pipes, and so all of a sudden, man, like, I'm pretty smart. I think I consider myself pretty smart, and I can't believe that I didn't notice when this kid started smoking. It was amazing to me. Like, maybe it was probably about a year ago, and I was going through this thing where, like, I could never find a lighter. Like, I would get to work and I wouldn't have a lighter, or like I couldn't find one in my house. And then, like, I started to notice that, like, I don't roll a lot, man, but occasionally, like, I'd like, where are all my rolling papers at? And I finally put two and two together and just cornered him, like, right before his high school graduation. Like, hey, man, what's going on? Sure enough, dude, he's telling me about just like this whole new world of like stoner culture. And like, we're talking like at the end though, he's like, it's cool, man. I'm being responsible, in a Cheech and Chong voice. I was like, well, some things don't change. he's like, he's like, I'm about to graduate, man. And I'm like, not as high as I want you to. Not high like that. Never mind. Just go to your room. all right, not your room. Leave the door open. You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah,
weird, like I'm in this weird hypocritical place where I'm like, man, I like now I'm mad when my son appreciates my work. Like this kid is never like, you know,
right.
I've had him in the studio since he was 5. I've always encouraged him to make pendants, hang out, but it was never really like his thing. And then all of a sudden, dude, he started hanging out in the studio and like, you know, like I would come down to the studio and I'd be heading home and he's like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with Kale or Joey and you know, da da da. And I'm like, all right, cool. So one of my shop guys hit me up like, I mean, your son's 18, man. Like, he's asked me to teach him how to make a pipe. And I'm like, son of a bitch. All right, yeah, I mean, go ahead. Because I'm not going to teach him, but, like,
Right, exactly.
I'll have to talk to him. You know?
Well, it's
You know, I'm
funny.
trying to explain it.
Yeah, because I'm in the
trying to
same
explain
boat,
to my
dude.
wife.
Fuck.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because, yeah, our kids are around the same age, man, so you understand.
Yeah,
That's
my
right.
daughter's 19 now. Yeah, because she was like suddenly like sending me like dab videos on Instagram and shit, like the Messenger. You know, I'm like, well, that's fun. That looks like a big waste of 4 grams right there. You know, kind of
Yeah,
shit. You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And then it was like one
Oh,
thing
dude,
led to
oh.
another, led to another, led to another, and then it was all of a sudden like, oh, I know what it was. We went to fucking Disney one day, like as a family trip, and we got one of the suites, and it was her and 2 of her girlfriends, and me and my son and my girlfriend. Her and her friends
Yeah.
all got like the room in a sense. So we get back to the room after like a half a day at the park just to check in. The girls literally destroyed the room within 5 minutes. Like I went in there to take a picture of it because I was completely blown away. So I took a picture from like in the living space into the bedroom, and then I opened up the bathroom door and I go in the bathroom door and take a picture from the bathroom door shot just 'cause I wanted to send it to her. Like, you guys need to clean this shit up. And they had fucking food out. You know, this is like you know, you name it. It was crazy, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I'm like sniffing. I'm like, are they fucking smoking cigarettes in here? And then I see like the toilet paper roll with the fucking dryer lint thing in there. You know.
Classic material.
Oh, dude, yeah. So I take a picture of that, and I'm like, okay, no smoking in the fucking room, cigarettes wise. And if you're smoking the other shit, why the fuck aren't you asking me? You know.
Exactly, dude. Well, dude, that's the thing is I'm over here yelling at my son because, like, again, I'm really intelligent, and as a dad, I think I have all the answers. So I'm like, basically, my whole theme with him is like, all right, you're smoking, but you're smoking wrong, you idiot. I'm like, look, dude, you got access to some of the nicest glass. You can order whatever you want. Like, you can make whatever you want, have made, and you're over here still smoking blunts like it's 95.
Yep.
Get your shit together. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? But like, but again, man, like it's a hypocritical thing because it's like, all right, he's a grown man, as it were. He's he's graduated. He's in college. He's got a job. Like, he's paying for his own herbs, as it were. And I'm still just like, but you're my little boy and you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know like the first time my dad ever shared with me, I was 18, and he we're out in the woods, like my introduction into manhood, then he's like smoking his wood, like old school wood pipe, which he's been smoking forever. So I'm just thinking he's smoking his regular pipe, and I'm like, that smells kind of familiar. I'm not gonna say anything or ask, but it smells familiar. And then he hands it to me. He's like, you got to do it like this. I'm like, Dad, I know what I'm doing. He's like, kind of thing. He's like, oh, okay.
Dude,
yeah, so funny.
Dude, I didn't all right. So I remember my uncle and my father smoking a lot, but I wasn't conscious of it until I was maybe 19 or 20, and I was going through the get psychedelic posters, put them up in my room with a blacklight phase, and I had a huge one of the Zigzag cover, and I remember just looking at it, and I was like, why is this so familiar to me? And all of a sudden, all these memories of my dad and uncle smoking came back, and I was like, oh, that's why I've always liked this smell. Okay,
yes.
Cool. So, but anyways, dude.
So funny.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
man. So,
I wanted to back up on. Unless you have something you want to say real quick.
Please, no, go ahead.
I was going to back up to the fitness aspect of things and the 40-year-old dad bod, issues.
Oh, please. Dude, it's so hot right now. Dad
dude,
bod. So hot right now.
It is, right? It's like the new thing. Because like myself, so I started my jump rope fitness thing about 2 years ago. Got myself in really good fucking shape, and then the divorce happened, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a 5-year-old kid eating Oreos, watching Pokemon in fucking bed at 10 o'clock at night, not giving a fuck,
for sure.
Put on a little bit of weight, whatever. So my jump, and that was part of my thing too. Is I literally cut everything out of my life, my working out, everything. So I haven't reintroduced that back to it, but I'm still staying, moving around and eating and shit, right? So yourself personally, have you tried any of the keto shit or any that kind of jazz at all for yourself at your age?
No. Tell you what, man. I learned a couple things in the last 2 years. I had a chance to go teach over in Europe for a few weeks with my wife, and had I known if my wife had told me, hey, you know what, we're basically gonna be walking an average of 4 or 5 miles a day. Like, I would have been like, bullshit. But yeah, man, like I remember that. Whenever I realized whenever I'm traveling, I tend to walk a lot more. And matter of fact, and when we were about to get married, so now 5 years ago, me and my wife were like deep into like a light fitness regimen, like simply, man, like a little bit of weights and just like walking 2 or 3 miles a day. And so, really, the easiest thing for me to do was to get back into that. I'm out with the stroller or the cozy coupe, which is the name for my son's preschool car that he loves
Nice.
riding in. And we just go out and we walk, dude. I do like 98% of the meal planning for my entire household. So it was really, really easy for me to like, I didn't really have to make like huge modifications. I just had to like, hey, heads up, I'm closing the kitchen at 8 o'clock. Like, I understand that people want dessert and maybe we want ice cream at 10 o'clock. We're just not doing that anymore because if y'all do it, I'm going to do it. It's like the kitchen is closed. So I just started being like a weirdo like that. And, that's helped me drop down a couple pounds, man. I'm going to pretty much just stay on that through the holidays
Yeah.
only because I'm feeling better. Like, it was gross, man. Like, as Noah was wrapping up his football season, and and if I ever like go out and like check one of his games, or we hit the park, or just like Lord forbid run, I never run with him. We'll lift weights together, but I'd never run with him because he's very fast. But
Yeah.
but I was like I said, man, like I was for real just like carrying Henry, and I had to go like up and down our stairs like 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm winded. Oh, if the zombies attack right now, my family's gonna die. I have to do better. I have to do better. So it's baby steps, man. Because, and like I said, man, I got the gym membership back up, but that's mostly just because my kiddo really wanted to go because we have weights here at the house also, and so it's just I'm not even like super crazy about it. It's just, hey, man, you know what? An average meal for me used to be chicken breast. I'll do a vegetable. I'll do some rice or a potato, and I'll do like a big garlic bread. Now I don't do the garlic bread or I don't do the potato. Like just real simple stuff, man,
Yeah.
where I'm just like looking at just like literally being more conscious of what I'm intaking because I mean, I've always kind of struggled with my weight. I'm a heavy dude, and I watch my son at 18 like going through those same things and like how his body's changing even just from not working out in football because he's not in high school anymore. He's not playing. So
Right.
like the last few months have been hard on him, and I'm like, oh, this kid's in for the same kind of struggles I was in. And if I teach him now before he moves out, just like what he should be cooking, things are a lot easier. So that was it for me. I made a dietary change and just got more active, which it sounds so simple, but like it really is, dude. Like I didn't do anything too crazy.
Hell yeah.
I just quit eating as much bullshit.
Yeah, that's the key, dude. Absolutely. I know.
like there's a lot of ways, like, dude, with the different diets and different action plans and exercise regimens and things, there's something out there for everyone, but ultimately it's you want to take in less calories yet also burn more calories.
Hmm.
and whatever it takes to kind of get that equation going is what it takes, man.
Yeah, and I've been listening to a lot of. There's a particular podcast called Impact Theory, and Tom Bilyeu's got every day he's got a different show. It's in a theme wise, but he's been doing a new version of it. Is a medical one he does every Saturday, and they've been talking a lot about the gut biome and how important your stomach and all the bacteria and shit and that is for your overall health. And something I never really thought about, which is kind of a gross topic, but I don't give a fuck. We're both dads.
Yeah,
so.
whatever, dude. We're talking. Let's do it.
So the doctor's
We're doing
talking
it.
about like your poop and how like if you think about your body as being like say a plant, and your poop is the soil, and your gut biome is like the roots, and if your shit is not healthy, then the rest of you ain't gonna be healthy. So the things you put into your body are so important. But then like they're talking about shit like we're so into like the free range organic chicken and blah blah blah. And this one guy was saying, like, the federal government regulation for what is considered, quote-unquote, free-range chicken is technically a farmer can have a warehouse, like literally a warehouse that has 100,000 chicken in there that are freely roaming around inside a space. They can feed them organic soy and corn for their food. And then all they have to do is open up the door for 5 minutes every 24 hours. So the chickens maybe will go outside, but they probably don't.
It's like jail. It's like the special housing unit. Like just a little bit of exercise a day.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what
Oh,
organic
God.
free-range chicken is going to be considered.
Yep.
But the fact
Yep.
that they're feeding them soy and corn means that we're also getting that in our systems, which is terrible for us. Like he was saying, like corn in certain countries is actually banned for human consumption because it's not meant for people to eat. It's just not, it's
there's nothing in it. It's like, dude, corn and Diet Coke. There's no nutritional value in either of these things, really.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But no, dude, not well. I mean, shit. You want to get into it, man? Like that's what put me on that I had to make changes. Getting winded and frankly, just like poop. I realized that as I was turning 40, I was like, that was the first time that like my body was changing because like the quality of my poop was changing, man. So that's when I started doing more research. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's dig
It's
into the
huge.
shit, bro. See,
It's so
look at
important.
you, man. Vulnerable. You're so real. Let's talk about poop. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I was talking with one of our girls that worked at like a couple weeks back, and then Christopher Robin came out. I don't know if you haven't seen it yet. Dude, it's
Mm-mm.
amazing film.
Is it good?
Oh, it's so good. It's got so much like I love Winnie the Pooh in general, like just from my childhood, my dad, and like a lot of underlying things with it. But we're like, we're talking about poop. We're talking about quote unquote poo. But once we see this movie, we're gonna be talking about poo even more, kind of thing. Just like laughing about it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, dude, the movie just kind of a whole completely sidetracked note. Is it's basically Christopher Robin as an adult, and he's kind of like, as we get older and we get caught up in our life and our business and get busy, we forget how to fucking live and have fun. And just be yourself and be a kid. And in the Winnie the Pooh story, there's like the heffalumps, which are like these, imaginary elephanty kind of scary things that all the characters in the story of 100 Acre Wood are all scared of. And in this film, the heffalumps they refer to as these soul-sucking entities, which, in all honesty, could be your job, it could be your relationship, it could be whatever you're in. And if you're so wrapped up in that shit, you tend to lose who the fuck it is that you are, And that was to me, that was like the underlying theme of this whole film. And eventually, obviously, Christopher Robin comes out of it and remembers his childhood and whatever. But it really made me think about, kind of summarizing where I am now. Again, getting rid of all this shit out of my life. And here I am now feeling like I'm back to my young brain, heart self. But I'm also now almost 42, so I'm also maturing in my brain state. Okay, time to be a man. But when I'm in this situation, I could be a little boy. Man over here, boy over here. We're and then learn how to also like make both of those things kind of work together. So that's so
no, 100%.
It's so
100%.
important, so important. But yeah, man. So it's interesting listening to all this health talk because it's like my son. He was C-section, and they're even saying like babies that are C-section or more susceptible to gain weight because if you don't go out the vaginal cavity in a sense, you don't get. They actually. Inhale or eat a little bit of their own fecal matter as they're coming out of the womb, so they actually get that. They eat their poop, so they get that bacteria.
Okay.
That's what starts their bacteria in their stomach. So if they're C-section, they don't get that, so they don't get that bacteria, which then can lead to gut issues and then potential weight gain and weight loss. It's so crazy, man.
Wow.
Like, how our body works. Yeah, it's something I never knew about, and this is all this.
Yeah, that's correct.
Research.
No, like when you say it, you're like, okay, that makes sense, and then it's like, oh, I never thought of that. Like,
yeah, because my son, like he's 11 now, and he's a husky little boy. I was husky when I was a kid, but he's really husky. So I mean, him and his mom and I, we're all talking about his diet and exercise and him getting out and doing things and paying attention to that. But also, he maybe just can't help himself because of how he was birthed.
Yeah, just the way his gut works.
Yeah.
Crazy. Oh man.
Yeah,
Man,
so
we are
weird.
old, but I enjoy it. I'm
know,
thankful to be this old. I'm so thankful, bro. Like I'm on one hand, I'm like, God, I'm old, but I'm really loving it.
I know, dude. Like there's days where I'm at work and like these little 18, 19-year-old like super cute little chicks walk through the store, and I'm like, God, what I wouldn't do to be 18, and then I stop myself halfway. I'm like, fuck all that shit. I'm glad I'm almost 42.
Dude, no, dude. Like I don't want to. I won't get too far into like dating and like marriage and stuff, man. But like yeah, man. So at the shop, I'm married. I'm the only one that's married. A couple of you guys have like girlfriends. A couple of the guys are on Tinder. Like I'm not gonna drop his name, Bentown. But now when he first started working with me, man, like he was single and he was out there like as it were like in the dating life. And so my homie, he's like 38, a little younger than me, but like about the same age, man. Been on the torch 15 years. Did a lot of proto work for Crush back in the days. So like just like-minded. And like I'm sitting here and I'm like every day I would come in or like every other day and there'd be like it's like a new girl like at the shop just like kind of hanging out talking about glass and I'm like we're never this busy because like we have a storefront but we have a storefront on like a very 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 slow street so like we don't really rely on that. It's just open just to be open when people come by. And it took me a while to figure out. I was like, oh, he's on Tinder dates. He's interviewing right now. This is a process.
Hilarious.
And sure enough, dude, I asked him and like, every day, like he'd bump like, swipe right or swipe left. I don't know how it works. I don't know. Whatever way he was swiping to where like, yeah, he was, meeting new people. And I'm like, at first it seemed foreign to me. And then I'm like, Man, I'm mad busy. If I were single right now, this would be the only. I think this is how I'd have to meet people
Yeah.
because I don't like how else the fuck would I do it? So, yeah, it's interesting kind of watching the perspective, man, because like just being an old married dude that's like overly worried about like both my poop and the quality of my family's poop is not where my shop guys are at. They're in a drastically different place.
Yeah, completely.
So to see those two things together, I'm just like, yeah, let's just blow glass, guys. Like it's a very pure, potent studio because all we do is work. Because, before it was me and Jillian or like me or somebody else I've known like years and years. I've got two guys I've only known like 4 months, but like I've followed their work for years, and like, yeah, we pretty much just stay focused on work because I'm so old I don't have anything in common. It's great.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, it's
Man.
it's so true. The modern days. So it's
Oh, yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, man, just adapting to it, man. My kids on Tinder, so I had to like make like rules in my house about shit like that. Like, hey, never have a girl I don't know in my house for an extended period of time. Please, you're an adult now. These aren't like teenage girls where I can like go beat up their fathers. These are like adult women. Please stop that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anyways, I
That's
digress.
amazing. Yeah, man. So one more thing I wanted to say about the fitness thing. I know myself. Like I was in the same boat. Like I'm going upstairs and I'm like, why am I winded for? And I realized, which we all do when we're on the torch, we breathe really shallow. There's not a lot of heavy cardiovascular going on. And I think a lot of our issues is the fact that we spend so much time behind the torch that we're not really breathing heavy in and out, in and out, in and out. So we need that cardiovascular exercise, which is where the jump rope came in so well for me because it really got my cardio going, but also like helped my shoulders and a lot of other things. But I recommend.
Are you still doing it? Are you still doing the jump rope?
No, not as much. And I haven't actually. I've jumped rope maybe 3 times in the last year, honestly. But
Okay,
I still
that's good.
walk. I still get like 30,000 steps in every couple of days. I'm still staying active. Yeah.
Look, all right. So technology and fitness. I'm I got the iPhone, so like I don't have a separate pedometer to track my steps. I just rely on the one that's on my phone if I ever want to look at it. And I seriously like for a couple months, man. Like, and again, I'm not excuses. Just I was home with the baby doing important things, so like I'm not really tripping on it. But I was getting like 1,000 steps a day, bro. Like it was getting really bad.
Yeah.
Like I just wasn't I just wasn't moving. And like I said, like for me, it was as easy as a diet change and just being more active, even like on a passive level, just walking around my neighborhood. Like I'm not doing wind sprints at the park. I should maybe, but I'm not.
I'd
I'm not
pull
doing
something
that.
if
So,
I
like,
did that shit. Fuck.
like what a dude. Because like, all right, we live right by a big soccer park, so like any given time, there's like literally like Kenyan marathon runners that train here in Albuquerque because our altitude is so high.
Okay.
So they'll come here and train, and I'm just like, like for real guys my age, like actually doing wind sprints, and I'm just like, right, I'm just out with the baby. I'm gonna walk 2 miles, eat a snow cone, and go home. You guys have a good day.
Hey, at least it's a snow cone.
God bless you. God bless you, but no, I'm gonna get a snow cone. I'm gonna head back home, guys. It's super hot out here. Super hot.
Yeah, but your shoulder muscles and your arms are developed from all that glass blowing you've been doing.
Oh yeah, well, dude, it's weird. I'm a bigger dude, so I don't really think about like my glass blowing muscles, and I've been doing it so long. They're the muscles I have. But like, I'm one of the newer guys in the shop. He's 21. He doesn't have like super huge arm strength, so he's like called me at home like, yo, dude, I think the bottle's fucked up. Like I'm trying to turn on the propane or switch it, and I'm like really serious. And like, I for sure have come down to the shop, and I'm like, ooh, no, it's not that. It's just your arms.
Yeah.
Push-ups, my brother. Push-ups, my brother. Like there's basics you got to be able to do. I mean, like, this kid wants to tear down huge recyclers. I'm like, if you can't hold a stick 44 by 4 and tear it in half, like you got to be ready for the weight, man. There really are certain muscles in the arms and shoulders that are like just crucial. Even like when I'm pulling cane, I can like feel like the ligaments and the muscle memory that I have are it's so crucial. And so yeah, a certain amount of fitness is needed just for the job. It sucks to say it because it's a very sedentary job, but no, I agree.
Yeah. And yoga, dude. Like I'm gonna start. Like I keep saying I'm gonna start, but I'm literally starting yoga tomorrow morning when I get up first thing. I already got everything set up for it. The whole 9 years. I got to do it. Like I did a good stretch last night, man. I haven't like really stretched in. It's probably been a couple months, and it just I felt like every joint in my body just popping and stretching, and it feels so good, because like the figment that I make, his body alone is 7 inches of 1 inch diameter rod, so it's a big fucking mass of glass.
Wow.
Right, and I'm condensing that down just to force. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Oh,
So,
sorry, my arm started like feeling that.
oh, dude, my hand hurts right now just thinking about it. Yeah. But what it made me realize, like doing this bigger shit, is like the larger weight you have to have a bigger punty in your hand. Like trying
Yeah,
to, use a big piece of glass and having like a 6 mil rod diameter, glass. It kills your tendons in your hands. It makes your like my thumb and everything. After if I use a smaller diameter punty, it's I'm done for the day. Like my hands just kill me just because I know that I need to have a bigger grip, better strength grip. What
Yep.
I'm doing.
Yep. Well, not, and I think a lot of what's saved me over the years, as far as like body maintenance and flame working, man, is just having a big diversity. Because any given day, like I might make beads on the manual for 3 days, which is like fine motor control, and then move up to like doing like cups out of like 60x9. And so I feel like I've always credited that as kind of keeping my arms and hands in shape. Because I feel like if I had to do any one thing for like a long period of time, that's when I start to have pains. When I'm doing like a long run of champagne flutes over like 6 days, it's like my muscles are like, do something different. This sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm working through that too, man.
Yeah, it's amazing too, man, because I always thought it was like my shoulders were my problems, but my massage therapist was like, no, it's your forearms. Your forearms are so fucking tight. It's causing wrist issues. It pulls all your tendons and muscles from your bicep, which then comes from your shoulder, which then comes to your neck and your back. So you literally go like, just this big ball of just tension, all because your forearms are so fucking tight,
Yeah, like your back hurts because of your Popeye arms.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
That's just fact. Like it just pull like, and again, old man knowledge, man. I can feel like when I stretch out my right arm, like I can feel those muscles and ligaments like stretching all the way back through my back in a way I never could before. And so like, I'm not a yoga guy, man. I did a lot of Tai Chi in high school, and so I'm trying to get back into that. There's
Cool.
a little studio by my house, just anything to get me moving. And so I want to end up being like one of those like old like Chinese men in the park, like at 6 a.m.
Dude, you and me
just
both.
like just slowly moving,
Yeah.
just slowly moving, bro.
Yeah, and then maybe a little game of chess.
Yep. Well, it's all a school of thought thing, man. This last year for me was just, I keep saying it's been so eye opening, but like there's no other way to describe it. I felt myself not declining, but if you imagine your life as like a number line, and you start at 1, and as you slowly go up the hill, and you get to the top of the hill, as it were, then you get quote unquote over the hill, an expression people are fond of saying, and then it's slowly supposed to decline. Man, I found this whole just school of thought that basically says that as a human, my body might decline physically, but like I always want to be improving. So that like when I die, I might not be as strong as I was when I was 20, but I'm going to be a lot sharper. Like I'm no longer thinking of my life as a declining and like an ascending and then descending number line. For me, it's more just about constantly trying to improve. And so that really, ideally, man, the best day of my life will be the last day I'm on Earth.
Yeah.
Because I always want to be improving. So I'm trying to be mindful of things like that now. These are the thoughts I have when I'm walking. So.
Do you find like the yeah? I appreciate it. But do you find like the glasses taught you that too? Because like for me,
Oh yeah,
growing up with it, like I tell people all the time at work, like glasses taught me so much about life. And it's just, I think those that grow up like that start at a young age in their early adulthood and then do it for 20, 30 years. It's amazing how much you grow within that medium, and it teaches you.
Yep. Well, look, man, I admit my bias as a cup maker, because I, of course, think that cups are singly the most important thing to ever be made out of glass, but only because of the process. I learned a lot working with Roger Paramore the last few years. Like, that dude started blowing glass in Florida when he was 8. Like so
Jesus.
already he was like decades ahead of me, like before I even started, as it were. But cup making is such a metaphor for me on life. And yeah, man, like flat out, like the straight answer to your question, yes, a lot of that thought process does come from like thinking about the glass. For me, it was like this last year has been me deciding like, am I done? And not like in a scary creative way, but like, hey man, should I just go back and get my teaching certificate and chill and maybe, I've had a really, really good run. I'll always have glass in my life, but like maybe I should do this. And flat out, I had to decide, have I already made the best pieces I'm going to make? Nope. So that means I'm still in it. Like for me, that's what keeps me in it, is because I have an idea in my head of like what the perfect piece will feel like. I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly what I'd be making, but the sense of completion on like the perfect piece, I'm still trying to achieve that. And a lot of that comes from like with cup making, man, there's so many variables to balance, and sculpting's the same, marble making's the same, pipe making's the same. So I just am a cup maker. So I come from that point of view that like, Yeah, man, that is a huge analogy on my life because I'm always tinkering with a cup. Even if they're identical, the process is identical. There's always a little something different. There's always a new barrier to kind of overcome. Muscle memory, hand placement, strength of arm. Is it too tall? The architecture, is it too short? The aesthetics, and all these things I'm balancing in my mind. So I'm so used to doing that at work that I do apply that to my life now. And it's just, and it was unconscious. I didn't just all of a sudden think like, oh, my life is just like wine glass making. It's just, I made my life like wine glass making, like that kind of critical thinking with every step. And so I have to be so mindful when I'm sitting in my Avolios and doing those pushes to blow out a cup. I'm trying to be that, but like, you know what? I should be that mindful when I'm getting up in the morning and when I'm deciding like how to plan my day.
Yeah.
Like, you know, once I realized that like what was missing in my life was that like when I'm on the torch, I'm so happy. Why? Because I'm so fucking mindful.
Yeah.
Any given moment, I could light myself on fire or make something beautiful. There's no in between anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no in between. So once I realized that like no, I am mindful. I do have that space in my head. I'm just not applying it to the rest of my life. Yeah, that's when things honestly got like that's where I've been in like the last probably about 60 to 90 days, dude. And that's where things like started feeling better for me. Frankly.
Yeah, it's amazing you say that, bro, because I had the same fucking thing, same clarity, that, you know, the amount of emotion and perspective and focus and drive and energy I put into my glass, I need to put that same shit into all aspects of my life. But again, I had to cut all this shit out of my life to really fine tune and bring the things back in that were most important and that were going to help me grow as who I am as a man and as well as those around me. And then I could put energy into those things instead of having like 5,000 fucking things. Because, you know, like when you're a kid and you're in school and they're like, well, your locker is going to represent who you are outside of your world. I bet you if your locker's dirty, your bedroom's dirty, you know, kind of shit. But it's the fucking truth. You know?
Dude, like, it's just for me, it was just that simple, just like that kind of simple, like if then statement, because I realized that like, okay, I'm mindful on the torch. Well, what's different when I'm not on the torch? I had like the same thing you're saying, man. I had to cut a lot of things out, whether it be just like social obligations or just like, you know, like I give a lot. Like we work with a lot of nonprofits, and I had to realize like I can't do everything I want to be doing because I'm not being mindful to the things that really matter. I'm doing a lot of things half-assed, and I realized that if I, like you said, man, if I were approaching my entire life and everything the way I have to approach my job, then like, oh, things just run a lot smoother because it just becomes a true metaphor for life, man.
Yeah.
And once I realized that, then I realized the things in my life that like, oh, all these things need energy. They don't all deserve energy, but because I've built my life like this, they all now need energy. So it's time to start cutting things out.
Yeah, I like the whole idea of bandwidth. Like we only have so much bandwidth, you know. And once it's gone, it's gone. Yep. And,
well, you know, it's you know, I'm like one of my Achilles' heels, man, is like, you know, I'm a people pleaser, and that's something I've struggled with like since I was a teenager. You know what I mean? As far as like, you know, it's not a matter of me being a yes man. It's a matter of like, yeah, that's true, and if not, I'm gonna make it true. Like, yeah, I got your back, like on anything, things like that. And what I realized was that, yeah, man, at 40 something. I was putting my energy in the wrong places. And so once like I said, man, let's go back to mindfulness. Once I became mindful of that, things just started really turning around like very, very, very quickly. Once I started putting energy in the right places. And the things that were supposed to go just fell the fuck off, dude. And like, you know, I've had friendships that like, even within the industry that like, you know, like we've been friends only because we used to do like bead shows, things like that in the past. But like, if we're not putting time into the relationship, man, like I don't want to feel bad about that. Like I want to just be blowing glass or hanging out with my family. I don't want to be worried about things like that. And so I just been cutting things like that off, man. Anything not necessary is gone.
Yeah, I think too, like as we get older and we kind of like grow our tribe, you know, we could really find that our tribe is what's most important, you know, which I think is pretty badass.
Yep. Yeah, man, and it's so easy. It's so easy once you get there and you're like, oh, well, no, the tribe's most important. Act accordingly. But for whatever reason, man, it took me years to like get to like I can understand a very, very complex glass seal quicker than I could understand like that very simple concept of my life. And that's what I'm working on right now, dude.
It's so funny. It's like I just sat down the other day and while I got my calendar out, it's on the wall. It's like it's actually screwed to my wall, so it's like there's no reason I can't see this fucking thing. And you know, I'm doing the Airbnb thing, so like all my guests that are checked in or going to be checking in, they're up. You know, schedules up there. When my bills are coming out. Yeah.
Wait, pause. Hold on. Sorry. Pause. You're doing Airbnb too?
Yeah.
Ah, you do. Man, you are on it. You're living your best life right now, bro. You sounds like good use of energy. Continue on, please.
Yeah, well,
Sorry to interrupt
oh
you.
no, it's okay. That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah, man, I've been my roommate got engaged and moved in with her fiance. So like the way the house is set up, it's like we have 2 bathrooms that have baths in them, or full bathrooms and bedrooms. So I have my side of the house, and then there's their side of the house, which was hers. So they have their own entrance, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, and I love hosting people. I love having guests and shit. So having also grown up within Disney, I understand their quality of service, what the experience is going to be. So I try to have the same thing for people here, kind of deal, which I love to do. But that being said, I had to get organized. So I got organized with my Airbnb shit. But as I've always done, I'm the worst person. I'll go buy a fucking book planner, get all organized and shit, and then forget that I have the fucking planner and even look at the damn thing. So like my calendar's on my wall. Everything's filled out when my bills are coming out, when bills are due, paychecks are coming in, blah blah blah. Now I got to get my brain in the routine of actually looking at this fucking thing. Every morning I get up. I need to go get my cup of coffee and go look at my calendar. What's coming out for that day? Who's coming in? Blah blah blah. Those little kind of things to me
Yeah.
at almost 42, I'm just now starting to implement in my life, which is better late than never. But
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, that's the thing is I don't know if I had the mental clarity to do it before.
Exactly.
The better late than never is a serious, like, it's a real ass kicker, because a lot of these, for me at least, they're simple concepts. Like they might be hard to implement, but like they're not difficult to grasp. And I was treating them like they were like the great myth of the world. Like I couldn't puzzle my way through it. And it's like, oh no, cut out all the variables and bullshit of my life and only put mindful energy into things that matter. Oh, okay. But like, for whatever reason, I just wasn't able to see it before. And so I'm just thankful to have made it far enough to be able to see that, so I can be mad that I didn't do it before, I guess. I don't know.
Well, because like I know for myself personally, like trying to define what I want to have in life that I would consider to be quote unquote successful. You know what I mean? Like for the longest time, I wanted to have the big house and the nice car and blah blah blah. But now, to me, like where I am right now in life, I feel really successful. I may not have a shit ton of money, but I'm living the life that I have wanted to live for a long time. There's still some things I want to start implementing in it, like go surfing like once a month or go travel a little bit, whatever. That's going to take me time to focus on my finances, to have money saved so I can go do that kind of shit. But, like I was always on this, like, okay, striving for the next thing that's going to be successful. So I was always just focused on all these projects, things I want to build and grow and do. And what it turned out to be is none of that shit was getting done because I was so busy having all these fucking ideas. And I was implementing a lot of them, but the ones I was implementing were the wrong ones. And the right ones were just kind of put on the side, So it's I guess it's just picking and choosing certain things, and I guess you have to do that in life. But really, it's just I guess defining what your own version of success is going to be, and then how do you reach that success? I think just the fact that we wake up every day is success.
Look, it's okay. I'll be, and I don't mind saying it here, man. As far as like making myself vulnerable, I'm in a really, really. It took me a second to realize it, man. But like, likewise, where I'm really, really happy and satisfied with the life that I'm leading, man. Like my parents were split up when I was younger, and so like I always wanted to have like a larger family. The house that me and my wife live in, thankfully, are like it's a house that like we really, really enjoy. We have no plans of leaving. We've got room to grow, that kind of thing. I'm thankful for my job, and so like. Right now, man, like I'm not even gonna knock on wood, man, because a lot of it, well, I am gonna knock on wood. Hold on, but a lot of it is from like the hard work I've done, and what I had to look back and realize was that like if all the hard work and sacrifice I made before was to get to this point, that it was worth it, and if not, like what was I doing it for? Like what was the point of being gone? Like while Noah, like my oldest son, like while he was kind of going through his younger and like his toddler phase, I was constantly on the road, man. I was doing like 9-10 shows a year, so like even when I was home, I was distant and tied to the studio kind of thing. But now, and not to say that I sacrificed one of my son's upbringing so that the other one could have it, but I've been really upfront with Noah about it. I'm like, hey, man, I wish I could have been there for every single moment the way I am for your younger brother. But, like, respect, like, that's what I've always tried to be working for. And I know that he doesn't really begrudge me that. I feel like I'm just in a place where, like, finally some of the hard work and sacrifices I've made are coming through. And so I'm trying, like I said, man, just trying to be mindful and pay attention to them and like and be thankful and in the moment. Like, fuck, man, I got 2 healthy kids, 2 dogs, and a studio that thrives, man. Like, I don't know what the fuck else as far as success, like I don't know what the fuck else there is, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm super fucking thankful right now, and like I'm not complacent. I'm not like resting on my laurels, like I'm the shit and I got it figured out. But like, nah, it's important to take stock, particularly at our age, and like where you're at, and just say like, what positives do I have in my life, and like how can I celebrate those? Because, with our job, man, it's so and our job and our personalities, it's so easy to get caught up in the ambition of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm just learning now, man, just kind of take time and just be thankful for the fucking shit I got, because I wasn't before. I was always working so hard to amass more things, and now not just like materialistic things, but like just and not like more friends in a weird way, but like I want to see everything, I want to meet everyone, I want to do everything, and like I can't. I need to be fucking happy as fuck for the things I have been able to do, and hopefully that'll keep me in the path to see more.
Yeah, now I just got to maintain it.
Yep. Yeah, dude. But I don't. But again, it goes back to that whole like I definitely don't have it all figured out. I do for like right now. Like for the next half hour, shit is cool.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes after that, dude. We'll see how it goes after that, man.
Yeah, it's and for me now, like what my perspective, I guess, and you're asking me earlier about what my next say year is going to be like, and I think the ultimately is if you can have clearly set defined goals that this is exactly what the fuck it is I want, and then you got to figure out how to get to that point, and you got to do whatever it takes, and let everybody in your life, and you got to communicate to people in your life, okay, this is the goal I'm reaching towards, and if you're going to be in my way, then either get the fuck out of my way or help. But either way, this is the direction I'm going right now, no matter what it is, whatever it could be, buying a new car or whatever. So, yeah, it's just that's where I'm at now. So like I got to write my goals down, and some of them I'm not even sure what they are. I have ideas, but you really don't know what the fuck it is until you put it on paper and get a really good perspective on paper of everything that you see in front of you.
Dude, it's just. And again, man, and hopefully there's gonna be a listener listening to this. Like, this sounds really simple. No, it sounds so simple. You just have to get to the headspace for you can make those decisions, man. Like decide what really matters to you, and just going back to what I said before. I don't know that I couldn't have made this decision in my 20s. I didn't have I don't have the life I had now back in my early 30s because I wasn't mindful of what I really really needed. I was still searching for that, and God bless the people who can find that early in life, and thank God we both found glass early on, because I know that's been a cornerstone, just getting through everything for me, man. And I don't know what I would do.
Well, I think for us, both of us, it's also being able to admit that you're not mature enough in certain areas of your life to do something, or you're not ready for it. For example, within my company I work for, our general manager, he'll probably be with us for maybe another 5 to 10 years, maybe. But after he's gone, who's gonna be his successor? And I would love myself personally to carry on his role in a sense. And I know right now, him and I have actually talked about it too. And I've talked about it within the company. What happens if he pulls out of the parking lot today and is hit and killed in a car accident? Is our company going to fall apart? Because this guy's a big cog in the wheel of our company. And it's something that they had to think about. But that being said, I'm sure he hasn't approached me about it because he sees me. I come to work some days, I'm not fully clean shaven. There's certain things we have to do in terms of the look that we have to have. And being my personality, for me to follow rules is I can follow some rules, and some of them it's kind of difficult. But it's also a maturity level thing. And I know right now in my life, I'm not ready in a maturity level to even be asked or even bring upon that to myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least you're conscious of it, though.
Right,
you're
exactly.
Conscious of it. And you have a well, I don't know if there's necessarily a plan, but you have a direction. At least you're conscious of that. You're not why isn't this working? You're this isn't working because, and that's a better place to be in.
Yeah, and the only reason I got that, dude, is because I cut all that shit out of my life, and I'm pretty clear on a lot of stuff, going back to that whole thing. So it's, we can all say we have our shit together and we're the most mature person on earth, but no, I don't think we ever will be.
Look, like I said, man, shit's cool for another 28 minutes. We'll see what's
Exactly.
I take things in small bites, brother.
Yes. Yes,
oh,
me too.
Man.
Yeah, so I'm in terms of your with stuff. So where are you heading? With your glass, are you gonna try to get your lines going, or?
Oh, me? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get through the holiday season, which is the key thing for me to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I have always had you know what? 2 years ago we were talking, so let's talk again briefly.
Yeah.
The Jones at Home collection has been a lot of fun. I put out literally hundreds of glasses around the country, man. And I'm so thankful to be in people's homes and just so that will never go anywhere. Like I said, I got my buddy Kale who works at the studio, and he can finally make a cup without a wobbly lip. So
Nice.
he's helping me out a little bit with some of the production stuff there. Um, man, I've done memorial pieces in the past. The first one I did was for my son's mother, and I remember like just again the usual, man, just crying and tears streaming down my face and getting through the process. We had a situation about a month ago where my son's grandmother passed away, and so I find myself at the funeral home dealing with some family stuff, and like I'd never priced it, man. So I start looking through memorial glass and things like that. Like there's a couple different websites that are pretty prevalent that all the funeral homes, I guess, like nationwide work with. And I frankly started looking at these price points, man. And not that like I deliberately am like, oh, they don't deserve the money they're making.
Dude,
But like
right?
I'm looking at it and I'm like, you know what, man? I'm not a layperson. Like I know what it takes to actually make this and to put this together. And so I'm going to transition, man, in January into like I already have the name. I'm not going to buzz market it here just yet, but it's we're going to start doing a lot more memorial glass, but only because it's something that has always been prevalent in my life. I know that there's a life sustainable need for it as far as like glass objects that people will continue to need over like 5 or 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And also, frankly, it's a more scalable business than my drinkware because, frankly, making cups is really hard. So like it took me 2 years to find someone who could like even sort of help me do like assist me in the studio, let alone actually make the work. And so I'm looking forward to getting through the holidays, but only because like we have a strong local focus. I've already set up with a couple local funeral homes, man. And I'm going to try and make a real difference in that industry because I can. Like,
Awesome.
just I that's what I want to be doing. And like I said, it's something that like it's not when I say it's an easier sell. I'm being 100% honest and genuine because
it's totally.
I'm not looking forward to like profit off people's pain, but like fuck it, Jason. I'll tell you, dude. There's a company right now that are selling a small implosion, and all they're doing is taking a Chinese color, stamping it on the back with some ashes, stamping frit on the back, pulling the loop up and over, and I'll tell you that they're $275 retail, man, and they're getting it.
Yeah.
And like, do I begrudge them every single dollar they're getting? No, but like, I'm a flame worker, so when I see things like that, and I also see like just I've had people come to me at the studio like, hey man, like so and so just passed away. My boyfriend, husband, wife, fill in the blank, just passed away. Can you help me? And they're at such a point of vulnerability that, like, as a shark salesman, I could probably charge them whatever I want, man. But like, frankly, the two industries that I think need the most regulation on the glass side are weddings and funerals. And I already handled weddings with my champagne flutes. And like, yeah, man, this is something I think that can make a lasting difference in people's lives that like isn't like super gimmicky. That like I can sit down with someone, whether it be on Skype or video chat or in person, and say, no, I've been there. I do understand. This is more than just a profit center for me. I get that loss and wanting to commemorate it. So.
Yeah.
That's the biggest news for me, man. Is that it's something that I can slow down and do and not be as worried, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Like I'll still continue all my other product lines, and I'll still put out cups, as I need to, and that kind of thing. Like nothing's going anywhere. But as far as like my focus for the next few years, I mean, I did cups for the last few years, man. It was really good. It was really good to me. I'm going to spend a bit more time getting back to my roots as far as pendants and things because there's a need for it, man. People are straight up just getting gouged. And I try not to touch on like price disparity in the glass industry and how much things should cost. But like, hey, hear my voice. No one should have to go through a death and then have to spend fucking $250 for a small implosion
Dude,
just
it's
to commemorate
ridiculous.
their cousin passing.
I agree.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I charge
So, like,
I charge $75 for a pendant.
Yep. Yeah, dude. Like that. See, that's fair because look, what we are like. Okay, one, I am processing human remains. There is a certain amount of like just both decorum and process that I had to build to do that safely and with respect. And so like there is a cost for that. But like, fuck, dude. I mean, like I watched a family order 6 of these pendants, and it took everything for me not to be like, don't go to the car and get a business card. Don't go to the car and get a business card. This is foul. You're in a funeral home. Don't do this, Jones. But like, so that led me to do a bunch of research, and like, there's certain things like, if I take in remains from across the country, they have to be priority overnight. like, I can't like 2 day things like that. There's just certain like just already existing codes as far as like dealing with human remains. But I'm spending some time now learning all those, so I know the ins and outs. I'm working with my attorney and my insurance guy to make sure I'm covered on that end because I'm old now and I do stuff like that before I just launch a product line.
Super
But
smart.
but yeah, man. Since you're asking, that's where we're gonna push because like you know, like just death is for whatever reason, man, an ongoing theme in my life. Like, since I was like 7 and lost my first grandparent, like, then I made it through that, then bumped into my teen years and then 20s, and my friends start ODing because they don't know how to make proper drug decisions and just, things like that, man. And so it's just something I had to accept that like I was asked enough to do this that if I could actually be providing a service. And so while it is going to be like, quote unquote, fun and interesting for me to work on this side of the industry, I'm looking forward to it, man. I am.
Hell yeah.
I think I can do some good.
I think so too. Hey, on that note, dude, can you hold 1 second? I gotta piss real quick.
No problem, man. Piss.
Right,
Go ahead.
give
Do
me
your
a sec.
thing.
All right, give me a second.
No problem. Cool.
All right, I'm back. Man,
Yep.
could have filled up a 2-liter with that
man.
one. Holy shit.
Well, dude, I was like, oh man, I hope he puts the mic down. I don't want to hear him piss. but then I just pissed anyway, so it's fine.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, so on that same note, so I've been doing the same thing myself. I've been doing memorial pendants and paperweights for probably the last year and a half, 2 years. And the first set I did was for my brother-in-law's, his dad and stepmom. They both passed away within like 2 weeks of each other, which was kind of crazy.
Oh man.
So they had like a combination of their ashes. So it gave me a chance to learn how to use them because the ashes have like the bone fragments. So there's like calcium building and bubbling, and you got to really learn how to work this shit. So the experience has been incredible because I've done it probably for 6 or 7 families now around there. But where I'm going to take it is into the pet market myself and start going around to some of the veterinarians and do like a real generic like clear cat or a clear dog shape and then have the ashes in that. Because like the last order I got, a woman wanted me to make little flamingo pendants, and her husband was that was like his favorite bird or whatever. And on a side note, I don't know if you know, but a flock of flamingos is called a flamboyance.
Really?
Yeah, that funny.
Oh,
Little side note there.
I did not.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, yeah. So I made like the body of the flamingo with the ashes because you really can't stretch that shit out with the ashes. It just doesn't work right. So, but that being said, I agree, dude. Because I started seeing like these guest people were coming to me, and like, well, I see these online for like $250. I'm like, dude, I can do it for a third of that. I know what goes into it. It's just, I get it because the funeral service industry is high money. It's big dollar. It is what it is. Everybody dies. Everybody's got to spend money on that shit. There's no reason that we have to fucking add more to that, Make it easier for these people.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No, well, dude, like, it's so weird to, like, say that, too. Like, yeah, I'm going deeper into the death industry and death class. Like, no, like, just factually, man, like, even, like, all right, like there's a specific math formula that you can use to calculate, like, when I'm doing urns, volume matters. Like, it's like I have to, like, the last thing you want to do is make an urn that doesn't hurt all somebody's remains. Like, you don't want remains left over. So, like, there's a volume formula that you can find online, man, that'll help you kind of calculate out things like that. Like, if the person's approximate weight was this when they passed, then after cremation it will yield this much in remains. It's pretty dead on. And so, like, just at first, like I said, man, I felt weird, like, doing all this research to, like, into things like that. And I'm like, if not me, then who? Because these other dudes are killing it right now, and not like financially. I mean, like, they're literally killing people's spirits.
Yeah.
So, like, let me try and fix it, man.
And it's a big industry, man, especially living here in Florida where people come to die.
Yep.
And it's one reason why I have not kind of gone out there and promoted it, because I know myself I could hit 3 or 4 funeral homes in the area and get into like a franchise chain of funeral homes, and they'll keep you busy for the next 10 years.
Oh yeah, no, and that's like frankly, like, the one thing about this is I mentioned it was sort of like a scalable business, for sure. Like, more busy than I plan to be. Like, I'm looking I'm looking forward to this doing well and kind of taking off and being able to, like, genuinely turn to like 2 of my shop guys, like, no rent this month. Your money's no good here. Here's what I need you to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's, and that just, it goes full circle, man. Like I said, like, now I have enough talent in my studio that, like, as long as I can afford to take these guys off their grind, I don't mind doing it. It's ready-made help. It's just making sure that financially it's feasible for everybody. So,
yeah, it's killer, man.
Trying to
It's
balance.
smart.
Yeah, so that's about it, dude. Like, I don't know, like, Henry is so I'm back 3 days a week in the studio, which is huge. Like I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays. I try and go in like on the weekends, like in the morning, and that kind of thing. Just mostly to check the mail and like if I need to knock out a custom that came in or something like that. But I'm dedicated Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nice 8-hour shifts. God bless grandparents. Thank you to my mother-in-law and father-in-law. You're wonderful people. Um, so that's been feeling really good, man. And just trying to get back to it, man. You happen to catch me. The 200th episode caught me at a point of just personal mindfulness and introspection, and just looking forward to getting back to it, man. So I'm thankful to be energized. This is good.
Yeah, and I think this year in particular has been like that for a lot of people. Like
Yeah.
even just guests I've had on, like having Lacey on here, Laceface. She was in the same kind of boat. And it's interesting to see that all across the country in our industry, a lot of us at our time period in our life in this glass world we live in are going through a lot of the same experiences. I think it's all good. It's all positive growth. It's just all as we grow closer to enlightenment, I guess, or whatever we want to call it.
Yep.
Clarity.
Moment of clarity. Oh man. But yeah, dude, let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else coming up. Like, oh man, I am teaching a class. I'm getting back on the road in November.
Nice.
I've been home for about a year, which is like whenever I say that, it sounds so dumb. Like, well, where the fuck else have you been? But it's like, no, like I'm never home. Like I'm never home for this long a period. This is the longest I've been home in like 12 years. So I'm looking forward. My wife and I are looking forward to me being back on the road a little bit. but yeah, man, I'm gonna link up with Veda Bickley, Lyric Glass, on Instagram, man, and she's an amazing sculptor. We're old school buddies from the Tucson bead circuit like 15 years ago, man. So we've known each other a long time, and she's never really taught a class like this before. So we're literally gonna teach a class on how to play nicely with others in the sandbox. We're going through like the collab process, like how to work with a new artist in, because like we're homies, but like we've never worked together before, so like balancing expectations and glass skill, things like that. So that's coming up November 2, 3, and 4 at Virtue Flameworks, and so I got that coming up, and I don't know, man, just trying to get back into the groove after a year off. That's it.
Hell yeah. So something I've wanted to ask a lot of artists who teach, when it comes to teaching classes, like are you reaching out to say the studios to teach classes, or are they coming to you saying, hey, we have an idea?
I have been doing it long enough, and I'm thankful enough to have a teaching reputation such that studios who want to book me will usually message me like, hey, would you want to teach a class here? Then I say yes, and then I say, hey, I have like 4 or 5 classes I've taught in the past. Why don't I send these to you, and we can pick one of these, or we can tailor build something for you. Typically, now I get booked for beginner flame working, or specifically soft glass bead makers or soft glass artisans who want to try Boro. Search me out, because that's a unique niche market I kind of started hitting on about 4 years ago.
Right.
Where I'm like, hey, you've been a bead maker your entire life, but like you want to make other things. Fuck with me, I got you. And that's so we fly bead makers in and out of Albuquerque on a pretty regular basis. Virtue Flameworks, I mean that's my studio away from home. That's my sister studio. So basically, if I need to leave my house, I will call Amy Glick, like, Amy, do you have any time in the teaching schedule? And matter of fact, I hit her up like, hey, I would like to teach a class before the end of the year, just to keep myself in the game, like just to keep my chops up, as it were. And so she was like, yeah, let's put something together in November. I had been talking to Veda Bickley since back in May at the Flame Fest, and I was like, hey, let's maybe do something. And she's in Baltimore, so that was a no-brainer. And so, yeah, man, it just kind of came together. Now, if you're looking at getting into teaching, I would say kind of go about the same way. For an artist who's looking to put themselves out there like that, there's maybe about a dozen really good teaching studios from Alaska to Florida and all places in between. Put together a couple class prospectuses and just email. Just like, hey, my name is, this is what I do, this is my Instagram, or however you want to put your social media out there. And yeah, man, because there's plenty of teaching studios that are opening, looking for people that will teach.
Awesome. Yeah, 'cause that's kind of like my next phase, really, like I was saying with the video work and stuff, but to get out there and to start teaching.
Yep. Dude, I will tell you now, like on the air, and we can talk about this whenever, but if you ever want to come out this way, man, we'll fill a class quick.
Dude. Name the time and date and place, and I'll get time off work and buy a fucking plane ticket.
Well, tell you what, man, I'll like literally let's stay in the vein, man. I'll talk to you off air about that, but I'd love to have you out here just because you don't do any of the things that I really do. So like as far as like just it's most of the people here, if they want to take a class from me, they kind of already have. And so I'm looking for other teachers to come in. Like Roger Paramore's kind of made his way out here a number of times. And we have a really really good student base of like just kids that are super hungry. We're right in lines where people from Arizona and Colorado and Texas will come in. So yeah, dude, I'd love to get you out here. So shit, you want to teach? Haha, let's do that.
Dude, I'm all about it. Yeah, because that's my heart and soul, man. That's why I love my job so much, and what I do is just the teaching aspect of it.
Well, just like I think you do really well at my studio. Also, here's the downside of my studio. I don't know if you remember your very first day at work, and I don't know what kind of flame worker you were before you got there, but like I have a brand new guy starting next week named Ricardo, and like he has had like a basic intro class. But I have an open studio. So like I said, we're on a storefront. So like we have a huge 10-foot bay door that stays open. People can sit at the little bar in front and just watch us work and ask questions. So it's one thing to learn how to do it. This dude's going to have to learn how to do it in public.
I did the same thing, man. Renaissance Festival, early days.
Yeah, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's what I think. I think you're uniquely suited for this. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
I think you'll do really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah, man, because like for me, my classes are all. I have 3 different levels I do, but like my main core right now is introductory into whatever sculpture and blown glass.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a 6-week course already planned out, but we don't have to do 6 weeks. Obviously, it could be done in 3 days or 2 days.
Well, dude, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, if I may, like, I'll offer you a suggestion live, man. Like, because you have such a big video piece put together, man, you could do a 6-week class and just the first week is in person, or like the third week is in person. You know what I mean? If you have students who are set to where like we start hands-on together, and then all right, cool, we're gonna meet every other Tuesday online. However you have the structure set up, but that's definitely a way to do that and tie that together.
Yeah. Hell yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah,
have like launching points per se.
It's good things, and like I like webinars. I like a lot of video work. Because I know the level of production I'm sure you're going to bring to it. I already love yours in advance just because you have good attention to detail, and so like yours is going to be great. There's just a lot of shit out there, man. Like my guys will message me stuff like from YouTube, like, "Hey man, check this out. Is this how you do that?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Yeah.
And like, okay, maybe that's how he got it done, but I'll see you tomorrow and I'll just walk you through it. That kind of thing. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just yeah, there's a lot of you know what? There's not a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of inefficiency, I think, online, where like people are getting it done, but like not as well as it could be, like not as quick as it could be, not as efficient. So I want to tighten that up a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's what my class is all about. It's the basic fundamentals from day one, so that way you get a good foundation from day one. Because, man, I know you're the same boat as me, dude. I made so many fucking stupid mistakes and bad habits and stuff that I carried on for 5, 6, 10 years. That I had to learn how to change because nobody showed me differently. But efficiency is key.
Well, dude. Well, and that's the thing, man. Like, and I have a decent, I think I have a pretty good industry reputation. And I bring that in when I'm teaching because I teach so many beginner and intermediate shit that I always assume that whoever I'm teaching is for sure going to take another class with someone else like after that. And I want them to be able to go in that class and like have the next instructor not mad at me. Like if someone walks into your classroom and they're like, "Yo, I had a class with Jones. I want you to take like a sigh of relief." Like this person is probably not going to set themselves on fire.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like and that's how I approach it, man. It's just an ongoing thing where I'm just trying to be polite both to my students and to future instructors. Because damn, there's a lot of inefficiency out there.
Yeah, man. That's why the very first thing I teach is a hot glass and cold glass look the same, and assume everything is hot always. That way people aren't fucking their shit up.
Yep. No. Well, yeah. No. Like we cover gas safety first, then just basically, just move into like which of these is hot. You don't know.
Yep. Exactly.
Did you know a clear piece of glass that's been on my desk and a clear piece of glass that's 1,000 degrees in the kiln look exactly the same? Because they do.
And they feel completely different.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Trust me, man. I know.
Exactly. Oh, dude. So I mean. Man, so just with episode 200, man. I mean, is there anything else you want to say to the people? Like you've managed to cover most of my questions just in conversation. I figured you would anyway, but like, I mean, just I know beyond like just the gratitude, man. Like I just want to say again, like what a great resource this is for everybody. Like while we're recording this, I'm over on Torch Talk, like episode 200 recording now, and just the feedback that you get, man, is just amazing. So yeah, dude. Thank
Dude,
you for letting me be part of it.
oh yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, you're to me, you're the foundation for kicking me off to make me comfortable doing this. I mean, honestly.
Man, well, I'm happy to hear that, man. I just, I try and make people comfortable. I try and make people chill. But you're a natural at it, man. And like, just, I will say my favorite episodes again, besides the ones that I'm on, of course. Like, I love Micro's episode. The JD Maplesons were amazing, and the Coil, because the Coil was the first one I listened to after I recorded, where I was like, let me see what we got popping off here, and just you give artists a space to be themselves and to be the creative weirdos that we are in a very, very safe space. So it's easy to talk to you.
Cool.
If you're an artist thinking about doing the show, get off the fence. Holler at Jason, because it really does make it easy, man.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell people. It's just like you'll forget you're being recorded. It's a casual, just normal conversation.
Yep. Like, I mean, I'll be honest. Like right now, like since in like the last few seconds, I've come downstairs to the lower part of my house, doing a little bit of straightening up because my teenager is drifting off to sleep. I will tell you in advance that the baby might yell, but I don't think he's going to. He's being pretty chill today. But
It is all good.
But yeah, man, I just it's just it's a good thing here, man. And I don't really look. I don't know if you have a lot of competition in the space or how that even works, but like you've really put forth a really, really good product, man. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, man. I mean, I thank you and everybody who's listening right now, or downloaded the show or episode, or responded or feedback. I mean, everything. It just keeps me going. I mean, if I had one person listening to this show, I would still do it just because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But the reality is, it's a blessing and an honor to have a voice in the community. And it's funny because, like, doing this, I still, in the back of my mind, I guess, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know. Some people say I'm too humble about shit, but it's like I forget that I have a voice out in the world of glass, in this huge world that we have, and that I'm quote unquote, known. I'm not going to say I'm famous, but I'm known in the industry. And hopefully I'm known not only for the show but for my work as well. Like I want both sides to speak for who I am, and hopefully it's a good reputation.
Well, yeah, man, and like in your mind, there's a separation, but like in most people, there's not, man. Like you are your work even when you're recording, and like I mean, just because like, dude, you fucking work at Disney. Are you kidding me? Like your work is top notch already anyway. Like and like I know you know that, but it's good to hear it just from a peer I know, dude. Like you already have like one of like literally like for me, if I had to flip my life and pick a job blowing glass, I would either do what you're doing, sweep Mike Sousa's floors, or brush up on my furnace chops and like go work for Carnival Cruise Lines for a few years. You know what I mean? Like these are like the three jobs that I would want to do. So like you're already hitting that, man. And so the fact that like you're able to do all that and still be able to share it with us is amazing.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Kind of a funny side note, and I hope this doesn't come across as racist because I'm not trying to be. This is like a true thing. But I get.
Is this? Are you about to Klansplain something?
I might. But I get people from all over the world, that come into our stores, whether they speak English or not. And I find like the Spanish folks that come in, they say congratulations to me a lot. Like in terms of that's how they say that they appreciate what I do is by saying congratulations. Which at first I was kind of like, huh? And then I realized that's like they're saying thank you for what you do,
Yeah.
And then I had this Indian family the other day from India, and they didn't speak a lick of English, but the dad of the group, I was like, if you have any questions, let me know. And he looks at me, and he kind of gave me that like that look of disbelief because he couldn't believe what I was doing, and all he said was "brudda," as loud as he possibly fucking could, dude. And that was like a pinnacle of my career right there. That this guy who couldn't speak a lick of English was able to. I didn't get the buddy, I got the brudda, type thing from him, and it made me feel so good, coming from a foreigner who can't speak English, but this is his way of communicating to me. Like he's enjoying what I'm doing, and he was talking to his family the whole time, trying to explain to them what was going on too, because they, people see what we do and they're kind of like in disbelief because they don't understand it, or it's just it's magic,
Yeah.
But hey, so much for him being chill, right?
Yep. Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
I got a plan. Hold on real quick, Jason. Hold on. Sorry, I had to give instructions to the older one on how to deal with the younger one.
Yep.
And now I'm going back upstairs.
we're about to wrap this up, anyways. But
Oh
yeah,
no,
man.
no, you're
Yeah,
fine, man.
but yeah,
Look,
but that was funny, you know. It was, and then, like I said, I'm not trying to like be racist sounding here, but it was just to me, it was just a cool
no.
thing, you know, just having that experience.
No, dude. Well, that's the thing. Like, let me. Sorry, my baby yelled at that exact moment, man. But like, really, let me touch on that for a minute because like that spirit of just like, yo, I don't speak your language, but we're gonna communicate. And what he communicated was just that loud, brother. Like, that's huge. Again, that's one of those magical moments, man. Going back to what we were talking to, where it's just like, you can't explain that to someone else unless they're a maker or they're in the life. Where it's like, no. Seriously, I was working. This dude doesn't even speak English. He came up to me. He said these things, and it's like, yeah, and okay. Never mind, you don't get it. Like that's that's huge. Like that's amazing. Like that, like that's part of why I get the fuck up and do this, man. Like It is not an easy job. I tell people this constantly. Like the hardest thing I do all day long is convince other people that it's really, really easy to do this. Like making it look easy. And I know that, man. And so I just like the fact that's awesome. That's awesome, dude. I similar experience, man, just when I was over in the UK because there's so many different languages there. And so people who were watching my demo that like didn't necessarily speak the exact same English that I spoke, as it were, but just like that, just being able to communicate like on that maker level and just know they got it, dude. That's huge. I mean, that's basic human connection, like beyond language. So that's amazing.
I love it. Yeah, and I think that's what's so much fun with what we do is just again making that connection in an intimate setting because it is. People that are willing to sit there and semi-injure themselves as they watch you melt glass. It's like it's a dedication on their end and on our end, and it's appreciated.
No, I mean that's how I came up, man. My uncle coached football down in El Paso, and so me and my grandmother used to go down to the big Mexican factory right outside the Mercado in Juarez, and like just watch glass being made. Like that was some of the best memories I have with my grandmother. As a matter of fact, was doing that, and yeah, man, like just I remember being that kid. That was like one of the kids watching you, man, and like that's amazing. Like I've been to Disney. I know where the Arribas brothers are. That shit's amazing.
Yep.
Oh man,
too cool, man.
Oh, dude, absolutely, man. So just curious, man, what else you got on deck today? Do you work today, or you're off?
No, I'm off today. Yeah, I'm about to roll out of here. Drive about an hour and 45 minutes to go out to the West Coast to see my kiddos, get my son from his middle school, and my daughter,
yes, sure.
and go catch some Pokemon and eat some dinner and hang out. And I mean, like I literally drive 4 hours. Round trip sense to spend about 3 hours with them while I'm out there.
Man, like, dude, I know, like, cause of dad life, man. I know that's hard, but like, you're doing the right thing, man. If your life is in a better place and you're making the decisions you need, man, that's what they're gonna see. You know what I mean? I spent a long time in a weird relationship with my first son. Frankly, not calling your relationship weird, but just to kind of touch on it, man. I just kids see and absorb everything, as we know that as parents. And like, I just remember, like, I really thought I was doing the right thing in this relationship until I realized, like, oh wait, no, my son knows how I actually feel. Like, he can see how I actually feel.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, once you're happy, your kids always will be. So do you, brother.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely, man. Well said, brother. Hell yeah, dude.
Hey man,
yeah,
dude. Hey man, episode 200. I feel like maybe we talked about poop a lot, not as much glass, but I mean that's the nature of getting older, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
There's more. Dude, thank you as always for this opportunity. Buzz me if you ever need anything, and dude, for real, I'll get my schedule this week, and let's see if we can get you out here to Albuquerque. Let's quit talking about it.
Let's
do about it.
Oh yeah, I'm like seriously, I'm all about it because that's the next phase of my life.
Beautiful, man. Well, just the one thing I do a lot of, man, is travel. So if I can ever be of any advice, and like really to any of the listeners, man, like if you guys are ever trying to put a torch on a plane or figure out like how much glass stuff you can bring with you on a plane to like Alaska, don't hesitate to drop me an email, shit like that, man. If it's something I've been through, I'm always happy to help. So
awesome.
All right, man. Hey, dude, Jason, thank you again for a wonderful morning, man. Like, it always sucks when we do this because I'm like, we should do this like once a week.
I know, right?
Hey, man, I'm thankful for you and for your program, man. Shout out to everybody in the Wise Guys Network, and I'll talk to you very soon, man. What? Shit, I'll see you for number 300, maybe. We'll see what's up.
Oh, dude, yeah. 300, 400, 500, you'll be there.
Bruh. Bless you, man. I'll talk to you soon, Jason.
Hell
Have a
yeah,
great day, man.
You too, brother. Take care of yourself.
Peace, man. Peace.
Later. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed that chit chat there with Rashan Jones, and thanks for again for all the love and support and fucking 200 episodes, man. This is crazy. I still can't wrap my head around it because I know the amount of time and effort and whatever expenses that have gone into this show. And I got to give again, huge shout out to Mountain Glass. They've been sponsors since day one, helping me support the show and the Flow magazine. We had Green Flash Glass come on. We had Chris Bach with C Cube Co. came out and sponsored the show for a bit. Nick Devley and all the kids up there at Glass Roots. Like, just the support for the show, not only from the sponsors, but also from you, the listener, has been fantastic. We're growing the community on our Patreon. We've got 2 Wise Ass members right now, and we're going to slowly grow that. You know, I've got video content going up on a weekly basis, and just excited to where the direction of the show is going now that I'm, you know, as you can hear with this episode, the clarity I have and the direction I have now and the goals I'm setting, that I'm going to do everything it takes to reach those goals. And a lot of these goals have to do with this show and things going on with it. So again, thanks so much for listening and tuning in this time around. And as always, if you can go on iTunes or whatever your podcast app is and leave a review for us, even if it's just clicking on the little stars, it definitely helps out the show. It gives those hosts an idea that the show is being listened to, besides the download number, but also just by the actual interaction with you and the show itself. And you can go on our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/WiseGuyRadio. I'll have all the links for all that in the show notes. I'll have all Rashan's information in there as well. That way, if you want to contact him again about traveling and with your torches and whatever, you know, he's always posting up fun stuff in the Torch Talk groups or on his personal page. So until next time, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 200 of the Wise Guy Radio Show, and we will see you next time. Have a wise day, and we'll talk to you soon. Love you so much. Bye-bye. This segment of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by the Flow magazine. If you have not yet subscribed to the Flow magazine is a quarterly issue. It comes out in digital and paper form, and I prefer the paper form myself, even though it is convenient to have it on your phone or whatever tablet device you might have. You can look at it on. But this upcoming issue is going to be the functional art issue, which is pretty awesome to have functional glass in a complete dedicated issue. I will also be in there for a editorial in part 2 of my series on So You Want to Be a Glassblower, which is a 5-part series I did here on the podcast, and now we have it in editorial form, a little bit more polished version, as they've helped me in the editing process, as I tend to ramble, as you can tell here with this advertisement. But if you have not yet subscribed, they are chock full of all kind of fun-related articles and issues related to glass, photographic tutorials, demonstrations, words of advice, all kind of great companies that support that magazine as well. So definitely go check them out. And if you have not yet subscribed and you are new to the Flow, you can use coupon code WISEGUY at checkout to receive 10% off your annual subscription. So don't forget, go to theflowmagazine.com. Check out the links in the show notes and use coupon code WISEGUY for 10% off your annual subscription. That's theflowmagazine.com.
You're listening to the Wise Guy Radio Show.